Then follow that up with last week's impressive 21-17 road win against the defending league co-champion South High Rebels. Their improved record of 3-4 is accompanied by a 2-0 league record. The offense has shown explosiveness, with quarterback Richard Lara commanding the unit, with help from Jason Beltran and Nate Martinez getting in the end zone for a combined 10 touchdowns in the last 2 games. However, it's been the Blaze defense that have kept them competitive by holding opponents to only 18 points a game. We're looking forward to tonight's matchup, and we'd like to thank you all for joining us. Soon to be meeting our officials at midfield will be our captains from both teams for the opening coin toss, followed by the playing of our national anthem. Before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, East Bakersfield High School, as part of the CIF Central Section, adheres to the philosophy of pursuing victory with honor. In support of the operating beliefs and principles of the CIF,
Chris
this
Romero
game will be conducted under the strictest code of good sportsmanship. We believe that good sportsmanship and ethics
then Doughton is the quarterback that transferred from
East.
He is there.
Trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness,
well,
caring,
I say
and
that
citizenship.
he started against Shafter.
Right.
Tonight's officials are neutral persons who represent the CIF and are assigned to administer the rules of the game. They are certified by the Kern County Officials Association, and their experience and their integrity qualify them for their part in this interscholastic event.
Yeah, that's plenty.
In hosting this contest, we expect all participants, players, coaches, officials, and spectators to abide in displaying good sportsmanship at all times. Spectators are encouraged to support their own team, but are requested to refrain from booing the opponents or the officials' decisions. Good sportsmanship applauds good plays, but does not applaud errors or mistakes. The high school athletes who are performing here tonight are friendly rivals, not enemies.
Bentley,
This is the basic theme
you've
of
seen
interscholastic
Anchorman, right?
athletics.
I want to look
The
at
idea
Kevin
of
and
friendly
go,
competition.
you're not Ron, because I've only worked with you and
Winning at all
Julian.
costs
It's it.
is not winning at all.
It's easy.
Thank you for your cooperation, and we hope you enjoy tonight's contest.
God.
Anytime I mic check,
Oh.
yeah.
Scotch, scotch, scotch.
Yeah, just anytime I have to mic check a microphone, I always just start saying that.
Unique New York. It's one of the best movies. It is a top 3 movie of all time for me.
Shockingly surprised, Anchorman 2 was just as funny.
It was pretty good. It's not better than 1, but
No,
it's pretty
not.
good.
It was like,
Oh.
it's not a bad
Yeah, it's such a tough act to follow.
Oh, we got a bilingual cockfight. Oh,
Anytime it's hot or whatever, you know, you're always like, it's so damn hot. Milk was a bad choice. In a glass case.
where'd you get those pants? At the pants store? You are looking live over East Bakersfield High School football field, and you are going to have a little homecoming football tonight with East High is hosting North. Should be a big-time matchup. The winner of this game will pretty much have the inside track to the Southeast Yosemite League title. So Todd Bentley, the production, we're on the air live, along with Kevin Woolley behind the camera. And then they're scraping the bottom of the barrel for play-by-play guys. My name is Curtis Stelzer, and I'm told I'm not going to have to do too much. Vance Palm says I got the best in the business next to me, and that's Rich Cornford. How you doing, Rich?
I'm doing great.
Should be a good time tonight, that's for sure. What do you think's going to go on with these two teams tonight?
Well, this is a huge game for both teams. The winner's got the inside track to the league championship. Both teams coming in 2-0 in their league. North has been here before. They're defending league champs. For East, this is kind of a new deal for them. And under Chad Greider, his first year, they've got a chance to really pull an upset tonight and put themselves in the driver's seat.
Absolutely. We definitely don't want to forget tonight, obviously, being on the air with the Kern High Network. It's the U.S. Army and Kelly 95.3 game of the week. And the U.S. Army is a huge sponsor with Kern High with all the sports. It's a huge deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal. I know they cover the volleyball too. They support the Arena Bowl that gets put on later in the year. So I'm very thankful for the Army and everything they do.
So should be a big-time matchup. Both teams out for the coin toss as we speak. A lot of festivities with it being homecoming night here. Just a quick couple things from myself, just talking to some people down in the press box to know a little bit about East. They do run that RPO. And then we were kind of perplexed, probably in the word. We were trying to figure out the quarterback in Michael Doughton, and you have the scoop on that.
So Michael Doughton is the quarterback for North High, but he transferred from East High. East has got a great quarterback, Richard Lara, and you mentioned the RPO. Chad Greider described him to me as the master of the RPO, which is run-pass option. It's a play that depending on what the quarterback sees, he can throw it or he can run with it. And if you got a quarterback that you can trust, a quarterback that's a three-year starter like Richard Lara is, then you can do that kind of stuff with football, and it makes it very tough to defend.
Well, and I feel when I say RPO, just for some people, the run-pass option, I really feel like that RPO initials really came out right before football season this year. You didn't hear a lot about it last year. And now it's turned into, it's got its own little initials, and it's really true. I never heard it, and I'm a diehard NFL guy.
Yeah, the Eagles ran a little bit of it there with Carson Wentz, but it's the new fad.
They weren't successful at all.
It is the new thing, and it makes it really tough. Former linebacker myself, Greider's a linebacker, Brown's a linebacker. Defending that when you get a run read and now you got to cover somebody, it just puts speed on defense is even more of a premium.
Michael Vick came about 15 years before it really took off. We're going to take a little break here for the national anthem. We'll be right back with you. Tremendous rendition of the national anthem there by the East Bakersfield High School band. They did a good job there.
They did do a good job. Good crowd here tonight for homecoming.
So, just to get a couple quick things out of the way. Number one, with Kevin Willie behind the camera, one of my favorite movies is Anchorman, and I've worked with Bentley often. But I've only worked with Julian, so I'm excited to work with Kevin. I met all of you at that jamboree. I know I'm kind of new with everyone. Worked a couple volleyball games, couple basketball games, and that jamboree had about 3 or 4 teams, and that's where I met you all. And it's my first football game here in Kern County. It should be a good time. Really excited to be here.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. 2 teams that I think have different styles match up. North High is as big as any high school football team you're going to see, while East High depends on a lot of speed and quickness, especially from the quarterback spot.
Well, North comes in at 4-3, as you said in the start, 2-0 in the league. East comes in at 3-4, and they're 2-0 in the league. So absolutely huge game within the league, to say the least. Look, to start the year, East, they got a big win against Golden Valley. They won 40-0. Then they lost to West 27-12. And ironically, that's the only like opponent between these two teams. The second game of the year, East played West. They fell 27-12. And now the Stars, they just defeated West 3 weeks ago, 36-0. But I get a feeling a lot of things have changed since East fell to West.
Well, one big thing is West High lost their big, tough fullback, LJ. That kid is a monster, and I know they've had other injuries too. So it's a similar comparison, but maybe not the greatest comparison. But we do get a chance to see him go head-to-head tonight in what should be a classic showdown.
And 2 big-time coaches here, from what I understand. Chad Greider, the head coach for East, his dad is a legend. Is he the one that coached Ryan Matthews?
No, actually, that was me.
That was you.
How about them apples?
But Greider's father was. That's what I got mixed up, and I apologize.
So Chad's dad, Dallas, who I just had dinner at their house last night.
Thanks for the invite.
Was coaching West High in the 80s and had a record of 70 wins and 7 losses during that time. 3 or 4 Valley championships, and just set the standard for football in the Valley over here. Run the old double tight, split back veer option, then went on and coached at Bakersfield College.
That's awesome. The U.S. Army kickoff. First kickoff of the night is deep to the 5-yard line, and the Stars will return it. Nice return here. He turns outside and up to the 33, 34-yard line goes, I think that was James Johnson right off the bat, wasn't it?
Actually, that was Cole Fields.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of him tonight, both on offense and defense. Speedy wide receiver, DB. I think he's fortunate to get a good tackle there and hold him at about the 35-yard line, because he's very dangerous.
So here we go. East kicks off, and they will play defense first. The Stars will come out.
Yeah, we're going to see North run a variety of offensive formations, everything from a double tight, double wing, what we see now, to a spread shotgun offense.
And Doughton is going to draw them off right off the bat, and they're going to have a 1st and short to start it off. And this opens up a lot of things in the playbook when you have that 1st and 5. Heck, you could just throw it deep right off the bat, and you're still at 2nd and 5, and 2nd and short at that point.
Yeah, well, I think what North wants to do, and this is what Chad was telling me last night, is they want to pound you, and as soon as I say that, they jump in the shotgun and go wide on us. But they, like I said, they run a variety of sets, make it very hard to defend them.
So in the shotgun, first play of the night from scrimmage, they'll play action, and they'll throw it deep, and there's that man right there we were talking about in the pregame. James Johnson makes the play at around the 30-yard line. Nice toss by Doughton, and Johnson adjusts to make the play.
Yeah, well, Curtis, that was a great call by you, saying, hey, they should go deep on this play. So nice job. And Johnson, we will be talking about him all night. He was third-team All-State last year, had 19 sacks on defense. He's already got, I think, 11 this year. He's got 500 yards receiving already this year. He's a Division I caliber athlete for sure.
Ferguson splits out wide right here. They'll hand it off to Romero. He's got 11 touchdowns on the year, the rushing variety, and he gets a couple yards. It looks like maybe about 2nd and 8. Get any?
Yeah, he got 1 or 2 there, and I called their game against Shafter earlier in the year, and Chris Romero wasn't playing in that game, and they sorely missed him. He is a 3-year starter for him, ran for 1,600 yards last year, And, like you said, 11 touchdowns already, and he missed a couple games with an injury. So he's a difference maker there in the backfield.
And he's already got 4 100-plus yard rushing games. Talk about, a big-time back in the backfield. He'll fake short and go deep. Doughton down to the corner of the end zone looking for Ferguson, just out of his reach. And for the first time tonight, the Stars will have 3rd down, and it's going to be 3rd and long.
Yeah, it's going to be 3rd and 9 here, and you just look at the matchups that they have. The Stars have so many guys with length out at receiver. When I say length, 6'2" and above. And, that's tough to cover for college defensive backs, much less high school. And if you look across the row here, East High is quite a bit smaller than North.
Absolutely. You said they got some big boys up front. They're going to hand it off on 3rd and 9, and they will pick up probably about 5 yards. Looks like we're going to have about 4th and 4 here, and you got to think unless you have that unbelievable, usually one state in the country, each state has a stud kicker. I don't know if you're going to make this field goal in high school. What are you looking at, 24, 41-yarder?
Yeah, and I think the purpose of that last play was to get them into convertible 4th down situations so they could run basically what they want. They've chosen to go spread, empty set here, and they've got too many guys on the field.
I was about to say, they've got 5 wide outs and somebody's running on. Something's wrong. So they do spread them out. Nobody in the backfield, and Doughton will overthrow James Johnson, and that's going to be a turnover on downs, and that's a big stop for East, considering the first play of the game was a long game.
Right, and what I talked to Chad Greider about yesterday, again, that they have to stop that North High running game. And we saw 2 carries there for about a total of 6 yards. So, that's a good stop for East High and a good omen, because the size matchup is not in East High's favor.
Absolutely. So here comes here comes East. The Blades led by their quarterback number 9, Richard Laurel.
Yeah, and he is, like we said, the master of the RPO. They're going to try and put North in a variety of tough positions.
And he'll snap from the shotgun. He's going to throw the little wheel route and go long. Nothing doing there. Good defensive play by Alex Tejeda. He had number Rodriguez covered all the way.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see 2 coaches here with defensive mindsets. Like I said, that both of them played college football. Chad played at Sacramento State. Norm played at San Jose State, and then later in the Canadian Football League. So both were linebackers, both very fundamentally sound on defense, and that's where they hang their hat.
So they'll go 4 wide receivers, 1 behind Laura. They will run the RPO. Laura keeps it, tries to cut outside, may have a horse collar attacker. I don't know. Is that a rule in high school? You'll know, Cornford.
Yeah, it is a rule, but you have to get them by that collar and go pretty much straight back. I think they had some jersey there, but not that. And what I think you saw there, too, North High showed a 5-person box. 5 guys between the tackles, which tells East High that they're going to run the ball versus that look. I think they'll do that consistently, and I don't think we'll see it on 3rd and short. They do. They got 5 guys in there, so it should be a run call.
Laura gets them to jump, and they're going to get the first down. Unless somebody moved on the offensive line. I didn't see it. They do. They get encroachment there, and that's going to be a first down for East, their first of the night.
Well, one of the big keys Norm Brown told me for them was to play disciplined football for 4 quarters. They've had issues with penalties and turnovers, especially early in the season. During this winning streak, they've corrected that a little bit, but they're playing a little higher caliber opponent tonight.
Yeah, East, they've won 2 in a row now. Hey, both teams on a little run. North on a 4-game winning streak after opening the year with 3 straight losses. So both teams, something's kind of got to give here. Laura fakes short, steps left. He'll throw it deep, flag on the play, and that's going to be overthrown, but I think we might have a hold on the offensive line. We're going to have the official jog over and give us the official call. It is holding. So it should be, is that 1st and 15 or is it 1st and 20?
That's going to be 1st and 20.
Okay. I didn't know if it was different in the high school level. I only moved to Cali last year. Like I said, it's the first high school game I've even seen here in California. And I want to get back to what you said about James Johnson when they had the ball. He was a 13th state All-Player. Let me tell you, it's not like he's in Idaho. He's in the state of California. Right? To be you're right, Division I athlete. You're getting any type of all-state mention you know you got D1 talent at the college level.
He's at the right defensive end here, so watch him play.
They'll hand it off. Nice little run up the middle. Gains about 14 yards. Nice little run there.
You know, I really like what East is doing. I think they realize they can't be predictable when they throw because Johnson's too dangerous a pass rusher. They got the 5-man box again, and they went right at it with the run. And good call by Coach Grider. Brings up 2nd and 8.
That was the senior, Brandon Austin. Goes 5'5", reminds me of the little Dave Meggett. Look at that little Meggett run. Look at him. So they'll hand it off again up the middle. This time he's going to be stuffed by about 6 stars and brought down, and everybody ends up piling in at the end, and that'll bring up 3rd and pretty long here. 3rd and 7 is what's official on the board. You got to think Laura and East will spread them out.
Yeah, we'll again keep an eye where North puts James Johnson. He's number 2 defensive end, 6'2", 210 pounds of angry high school football player. He plays mean.
You got to love those two-way players.
Oh, yeah. And North High has quite a few of them, as does East. You see James standing up at the top.
They'll hand it off again up the middle, and nowhere to go on that one, and we will probably see our first punt of the night for either team. So we're going to have 4th and long from the 40.
That was a good play by Damian Morales, beating his block one-on-one. He's a 6'1", 230-pound scrapper in there.
So they do bring out the punting team, the punt team, I apologize. And they are not expecting a deep punt whatsoever. They're punting from the 40, and they're standing around the 35 for the North Stars. And they scouted it well. It's going to land right at the 30. I'll be darned. And he'll cut right, cut back inside. Good run by Ferguson. It's going to be a 21-yard return, and they get it in to East territory on the 49-yard line. Nice return there.
Yeah, Curtis, and you had mentioned that they had it scouted out well. He was standing perfectly. That's a good job coaching by Norm Brown and his staff, having Ferguson right there. And Ferguson did a good job of getting the ball straight up the field, didn't do a whole lot of dancing, just attacked it real well. And now North has the football in East High territory.
Well, so far tonight, at least just what I'm seeing, North really likes this bunch formation. They do have one spread out to the left. And they will hand it off, go up the middle, and they'll gain 3 yards on the carry, and that'll bring up 2nd and 7.
Yeah, I think North at heart wants to be able to pound the football at you. You know, in football, if you're bigger and stronger than your opponent, you ought to be able to do that to them. And so that's what I think they have. They think they have that advantage. But East High's playing them tough. That was only a 2-yard gain.
So Romero in the backfield. Ferguson spread out on the near side. They'll hand it off again to Romero. Good pickup there, and he's going to be close to another East first down, and that's a great job by the official throwing the flag as one of the offensive linemen, number 77 for North, just, I can't say it any other way, kind of punched the guy right in the head after the play, and that is the right call.
Well, what do we say about disciplined football for North High, right?
That's right.
That would have been a 3rd and 1. That's going to be a post-play foul, so that's going to make it 3rd and 16 now. There's a big difference in convertibility in those two things.
That'll earn you a couple sprints on Monday or Tuesday, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah, and if you know Norm Brown, he is all about discipline and you know, being a good teammate. And, you know, that's not being a good teammate right there when you put your team in that situation.
Ball spotted at the North High 44.
Good call by you. 3rd and 17. James Johnson will come to the near side. Ferguson lines up on that far side, right on the hash mark. Got to think if they can get Johnson here on a little jump ball, even between 2 defenders, they'll take their chance here. Doughton fumbles it. He just dives on it. Good play by Doughton just to recover, and they'll have a 4th and long, and it'll probably be the first time tonight that North will punt the football.
Yeah, and you know, it does scare you to death if you're East High when one receiver is 6'4", the other one's 6'2". And, you know, in that situation, you think maybe just a jump ball for first down, you know, the 50-50 ball.
But the way you're talking about Johnson, I'm sure vertical leap comes into that as well, and the athlete he is. Heck, It's like Fletch, right? 6'4", 6'8" with the throw, and the vertical he has. And you can just see on the first play of the night he made down there on the 30, 35-yard line, made an unbelievable play between two defenders. So if you're in that 3rd and long, you need a play like that. Heck, it's just as good as a punt, right, if it ends up getting picked off.
North is missing one player out here. He's getting on late.
I wonder if they did that on purpose, trying to sneak him on. And we're going to have a flag, and it's going to be a delay of game on North.
Yeah, so there is a fake where you have the guy on the sideline, but you have to bring him off late. You can't really, if they come on, they're supposed to go past the numbers to technically be an eligible player. Now they can go past the numbers and then back out.
Gotcha.
But we used to, when we run that fake, have a guy tie his shoe and then jog off late, stop, and then throw it to him. And it did win us a couple games.
There you go. Gotta love when you reach deep into the playbook. So the snap's a good one. They will punt it. Almost blocked. Great effort there from East. And that's going to take a North bounce, and it'll bounce out around the 21.5-yard line with 4:51 remaining here in the first quarter.
Got a couple early scores. We have Bakersfield Christian 2, Ridgeview 0. So somebody must have hit a 2-run homer in that one. And then I have West High is tied with Independence 7-7 right now in the first quarter. So a couple things there. Now we see North coming out defensively, again showing that 5-man box.
They like this formation, don't they? They're spreading them out as well. They like 3 on the one side, isolating the other. Laura will pitch it on the little option. Nice play there. And that'll be a nice little pickup for East.
Well, last week, East High beat South, and South was co-champions last year with North in this league, 6-time defending champions. So that was a really big win for East, and one of the things they did was a lot of option on them very successfully, and really frustrated the South High defense with it. And we get a little taste of it there.
Talking to Vance Palm and, just kind of getting to learn a little bit more. Talked to him last night. He said that was a huge win for that team last week.
It was. I mean, that set up this big showdown with both teams coming in hot.
Nice throw by Laura there. Breaks a tackle, and that'll get on the north side of the field, and they'll have 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Man, Laura spun it there. He's got a nice little spin when he gets to show that arm off.
Yeah, he's a difference maker. Again, the advantage you have, he's a 3-year starter. He's very comfortable. He's been in big games before. He struggled last year, but a couple years ago, I think they won 7 or 8 games. So, he's been a winner.
Really showed the arm there. He was on the opposite side of the hash mark, and he really let loose. Laura on the option. He can pitch it, but he'll take it himself. He'll cut upside, and he'll get a 1st down inside the 35-yard line. And the Blades are putting their best drive together so far here this evening.
Yeah, really fun for me to watch Laura play. I hadn't had a chance to see him. There was a nice article in the paper today about him and about East High and, overcoming adversity. So I know Coach Grider was saying he's a great kid, great student. So a lot of fun for him, I'm sure, to be out there with his buddies playing well.
Trips to the left, one on the right. And they'll throw it out right once again, and this time tackled. Nice defensive play there by North. A short gain, though. Just keep chipping away and gaining yards. 2nd and 6 would be my guess.
Yeah, and you'll take that 4-yard gain. That's a long throw, but he's got plenty of arm for it. You see how you mentioned earlier how nice that ball comes out of his hand. He's definitely got great mechanics.
Well, Rich, how big of a difference is it from 2nd and 10 and 2nd and 6? Just that 4-yard gain, so manageable, and now you can do anything you want. You can run the ball even if you pick up 3 or 4 yards. You got 3rd and short. So here we go, 2nd and 6. They'll hand it off right up the middle. No gain there, maybe 1, and it will be 3rd and 6. But like we were saying, it's so much more manageable on 3rd and 6 than 3rd and 10.
Right, and I think they're in the position now that North was in earlier, where you're probably not going to be kicking a 40-plus yard field goal, so you're looking at going for it on 4th down, so you can still run or throw on 3rd down here. What you're looking for is just making it a manageable 4th down or, picking it up. So they like to run the trips to the right and the single receiver left.
Absolutely. Laura gets the snap. It's a good one. Rushes on. They'll set up the screen, and it'll go incomplete. Hit him in the hands. Whenever you see those two big linemen coming through, good job by the other defensive lineman recognizing nobody was there, and they held their ground. Good job by North.
Yeah, good anticipation by North there to stop that screen pass.
So just as Cornford said, just like you said, they're not going to kick the field goal on 4th and 6. It'd be a where are they at, 44-yard field goal, so they're going to go for it here on 4th and 6. Vance was right. Best in the business. Just saying.
So now you got a situation where it is most likely going to be a pass. Watch for Johnson rushing at the bottom here, number 2.
So Laura drop back. He'll step left. Now he'll throw it deep on the right side. One-on-one coverage. And he's going to catch it, but we're going to have, I think, a little offensive pass interference would be my guess. It looked like he pushed off to get that little bit of room. We're going to see what that call is. And if it is, I agree with the call. It looked offensive. What do you think, Rich?
Yeah, both guys were having a pretty good tussle down there for it. And definitely looked like he pushed off here. Good that the officials are communicating. Everybody's getting their side of the story and what they saw.
And after the PA announcer, there's a flag on the field. A big hush came across the crowd. And here is the call. It is offensive pass interference. It was a great throw by Laura, but it was great coverage by the Stars, and it really is the reason why the receiver did get open. He gave that little push in the back, and that is a big penalty. So now instead of 4th and 6, you're looking at, 4th and 21, and you will punt, and now you'll play the field position game.
Yeah, and you got to be careful because of who North High has back to return the punt. We saw the last punt went about 25 yards, and he returned it about 20. So they got 2 guys back there to make sure that they field the ball. But you might have your punter try to angle it out of bounds so they don't get the return on him.
Absolutely. Trying to pin him inside the 20, I'm sure. And like you said, they do try the angle, but this one will go up the middle, and it's going to be a great bounce by East, but it will be picked up. Ferguson will beat one, breaks a tackle, but he can't get past another. But still a nice return instead of being pinned in. He could have let it roll into the end zone, though. But you know what? When you have playmakers on your team, you can't be upset with them when you want to get the ball in their hands.
How exciting is a touchback? I mean, let's be honest.
Right.
We want to see him return the ball.
That's right. They're putting on a show, folks. That's what we're here for, a little entertainment on a Friday night in Bakersfield. Good game here, 0-0 the score. The big thing I had heard is East really has a good defense, and they've already shown that off despite being undersized. They've done a really good job.
Yeah, they have. I was going to say they're short a defender here. That's going to make life tough. He just realized the other team has the ball right now.
1st and 10, nice handoff on the inside. That'll pick up. We're going to have a flag, and usually the flag lands there. It's the old holding on the offense, and there it is. And that'll end up being, half? Is it?
Yeah, it'll be half the distance to the goal. So, at the very least, that last drive by East flipped the field position. We saw North High start on East territory last time. Now they're going to be backed up all the way inside their own 10. So, it's tough in high school football if you don't have a guy that's just a super game breaker at running back to march 90 yards down the field and score. So.
Well, you played at Bear. Let me ask you, Cornford, if that happened, now if you're a coach, are you happy with that last drive? I know you had the penalty, but at least you got it deep out of your territory. All coaches want to score every day, or every possession, especially nowadays. But those coaches kind of have to be happy. You got a couple first downs and you switch the field.
Yeah, you're glad you're moving the ball, but you wish you'd had, not had that last penalty.
Oh, man, he's stuffed. Tries to hand it off up the middle again, and he went nowhere, and it's going to be 2nd and long.
One important aspect that it's important for players and coaches to understand that punting the ball is not always the worst thing. Turning the ball over is by far the worst thing that you can do. So getting the chance, punting it, pinning them deep, it's a defensive game. It's something that Herm Edwards is preaching at Arizona State, that it's not always about the score, which sounds really crazy. But controlling field position and tempo and things like that are important as well.
You still play to win the game. I had to get that in. Sorry. 2nd and long, they will hand it off out of the end zone just about, and he's going to be tackled. And that vaunted East defense They are tracking that ball, and North is able to do nothing deep in their end right now, 3rd and long.
Yeah, we've got race cars versus steamrollers over there, and right now the race cars are winning.
Can definitely see that speed. Yeah, I agree. Hey, look, I think even the NFL, they've wised up. Punters are now a weapon. They do so much. They can put so much English on that ball when they're punting the ball. I mean, those punters are not happy if they're not. It used to be inside the 20. Now it's like I want it inside the 5, you know?
Yeah, there are really good camps out there that really stress that part of the game. It's not just how high you can kick it or how far, but where you put the ball.
They'll drop straight back, and they will throw one up for Ferguson down the sidelines. He'll make a great play on 1-and-1, and that's going to be about a 50-yard completion. They get on the other side of the field, and we're going to have a flag on the play. It may be an after-the-play foul. What a catch by Ferguson.
Well, again, Ferguson's 6'4", 3rd and 20. You isolate him on a guy. And you throw it up there. We talked about doing that earlier. Now, he made the grab, he made the first down, and then I think he let him know about it, and that's going to cost him 15 yards. But it does get North High out of the hole and moving in the right direction.
Absolutely. And that, like you said, you know these coaches well. That'll get you a little discussion on Monday morning, that's for sure. You know, like you said, it's not a team play. You hurt your team, that's the only thing you can do. You know, the ones that drove me nuts, and I played pro soccer, you know, and the guys, I'm an Irish kid, red hair. I wanted to talk all day long, and the ones that never talked, it drove me nuts. Absolutely drove me nuts. So
it looks like we had a 50-yard reception.
On that note, what a throw by Doughton to get him out of there, and he got to show the arm off, and I think they're picking up the flag. And the official's going to come over and talk to Coach Grider and discuss with him. I think
left on the clock, so that's going to be the end of the first quarter.
It is the end of the first quarter. We're going to go to a break. It's going to be a U.S. Army station break. You are watching the Kern High Network.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile.
And I still do everything online or through the ATM. So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are over 100 places to get pizza in Kern County, but only 4 are good enough to be called Tony's. So what's the Tony's Pizza difference? We're not giving away our secrets, but the proof is in the pizza. Tony's Spicy Mexicana, the mouth-watering Hawaiian, the award-winning Chili Verde, and so many more. Trust us, you'll find your fit.
In our office, take advantage of the homecoming special.
Bentley. Okay. Welcome to Kern High Network. Bentley's over here, and he's bringing out the good food, and that's not funny because I'm not the thinnest guy in the world. That's all I got. So here we go, 1st and 10 from the 46 after the long 50-yard gain by North. Doughton will drop straight back. He's going to run it. He's going to pick up some yards, and they're going to tackle him out of bounds. It wouldn't surprise me to see a flag. They don't. Good run by Doughton there. Picks up some yards and makes it 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, whatever it is.
Yeah, we see the athleticism of Michael Doughton, that he can move pretty well himself.
So I'm assuming he transferred because he wanted to play. Did he have to sit out a year? Give me the scoop there.
Yeah, you know, I don't know the whole thing. I know that he did transfer from East to North. It must have been a whole family move because he didn't have to sit out any games.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that changes everything. That's always tough on the kid too, though. So 2nd down, Doughton fakes the little handoff there, and he'll pick up some yards. It's going to be a 1st down. So you know he's got a lot of friends on this other team, and you got to wonder, are they still hanging out? You know your other teams, but you probably grew up with them for years, and that's a tough thing to do. But he's showing his stuff here, and you know both teams have a little something extra to play for. And you know the defense probably loves that they get to hit him.
Yeah, you know, in this day and age, kids are different. I think if one of my teammates had gone somewhere else and ended up playing against me, that I'd had a little something extra in the pudding there. But you know, nowadays, I guess it's just so common
it is.
that it doesn't affect them too much.
Well, I think it's like, I think the NBA and the NFL, they may have been the ones starting that, saying, you know, congratulations and all that after games. And here's a little handoff there to Romero. He's going to pick up a few yards here. Good run behind the right tackle on the right side. So no score here at East, 0-0. We're into the second quarter here on the Kern High Network, and it's the U.S. Army and Kelly 95.3 game of the week. And we got a defensive battle, but North is threatening as they've really moved the ball as they were pinned in deep on a punt. And after a penalty, they were really deep, but the 50-yard bomb by Doughton to Ferguson made things happen. And here comes a little end around, sidestep one, and they'll be tackled right around the 22. And we got a little tussle right there. And we should have, my guess would be all setting penalties. We got a little fight there around the 23, 24-yard line.
Well, James Johnson was had a chunk full of jersey as he was blocking, and he finished his block. That was the first flag. And then the East High player decided to help his buddy out by pulling Johnson off, and I think that was the second flag.
And so Johnson's going to jog off the field, and he's going to talk with Norm Brown.
Holding against North High.
And it is going to be a hold. That's the only call.
Against North High.
And that is a big penalty there as they were getting deep into East territory. Neither team has been in the red zone at this point. So both teams really playing some good defense. But both teams have kind of moved the ball, Rich.
Right. And we've seen North again be its own worst enemy with the penalties. I think they've probably already got 40, 50 yards in penalties here, and we've got 10 minutes left in the second quarter. So that's something they've got to get changed.
And I think they may have also had a personal foul because now they are backed up all the way on their side. Now, look, he was tackled at the 22. And now we're looking at the 48, their own 48. So what are we looking at? 22, 28, 30 yards.
I think that's about a mile. Yeah, second and about a mile.
Second and 29.
Man, oh, man.
Now we do see two safeties by East High to help with the length of these North receivers.
Absolutely. Doughton will fire it out, and it'll be incomplete. Receiver may have slipped there. It looked like Turner trying to make the reception. He couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, I like the call there by North, though. I think they're just attempting to get half the distance back on that one. They saw the too high safety look, figured, hey, we're not going to get the home run ball, but we can get half this time and half next time maybe. But right now, third and a mile.
And Johnson has not come back in since the personal foul. He has been on the sidelines. And at some point, you sometimes want to send a message with the amount of penalties going on. That's for sure. So Doughton gets the play from the sidelines. It's Ferguson split out on the far side. And Ruvalcaba here on the near side. You got to think you're looking, we're going to have a little flag delay a game. And it's going to be third and a mile and a half now for North. And you got to think it's the old Ferguson jump ball coming once again.
Yeah, and if I'm East, I'm sliding that safety even further over to make sure that he gets there to help.
Well, he's probably, if you're smart, you're dropping him around the 30-yard line and, eventually just keep backing him up, right? And you almost want to think with 3rd and 34 now, Rich, do you even want to slide both the strong safety and even have that free safety kind of maybe even shade that side of the field? They're just going to go ahead and run it and pick up as many yards as you can. Doughton does a great job. Nice pickup there, about 15 to 17-yard quarterback sweep. And they do get it down to the 40-yard line. So now Coach Brown will have a decision. Does he want to punt and try and pin East in, or are you going to go for it on 4th? And what are we looking at? There you go, 4th and 18. PA announcer does a good job, and they're going to go with that bunch formation. Romero comes back. He'll set up behind. They're going to try and draw him off and see what they could do. That's exactly what they were trying to do, is draw him off. So 9:48 remaining in the second quarter. We're going to go to a U.S. Army station break. My name is Curtis Selzer. You are watching the Kern High Network.
Every team trains hard. Every team prepares to win. But when U.S. Army soldiers take the field, it's best if the other guys don't bother showing up. See if you have what it takes at GoArmy.com/team.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools. Together, we have something.
Sergeant Ross for being in attendance.
Welcome back to the Kern High Network. We want to make sure we give a shout out to Motor City GMC. They have some of the best SUVs in the business. They're a big time sponsor here for Kern High Network as well. So we always want to give them a shout out, along with the Kern School Federal Credit Union. Those two, along with U.S. Army, huge sponsors. And there's a little run by Doughton. He's going to be popped on the sideline. Clean hit, that's for sure. And you know there's a lot of chirping going on there as Doughton doesn't get the first down after a nice run by Doughton. He picked up about 15 yards, but he falls short of the first down. He got popped.
Yeah, good hit out of the bound. It's a clean hit. He was hit, they're trying to prevent him from getting the first down. So nice pop there and a good stop once again by the East High Blades. But, some of that was self-inflicted by North High, backing themselves so far up with penalties that are basically due to a lack of discipline.
Don't forget, folks, after the game, stick with us. We will definitely have our Tony's Pizza player of the game. Rich and I will confer on that, and we'll definitely have a player of the game for you. And I'm sure that one of those big boys right there running in has had a few Tony's Pizzas, that's for sure. Nice little throw out to the sideline. That's a nice catch, a nice little pickup there. Just to pick up a few yards, like we said earlier, 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5, so much more manageable than 2nd and 10.
Yeah, we call that, playing in front of the chains. When you get behind the chains, like North High did in their last one, you really become handcuffed on what you can call. But when you're in front of the chains, 2nd and 6, great example, you can call anything in the arsenal.
So Coach Greider will spread them out, 2 to the far side, 2 on the near side, 1 in the backfield. Snap to Laura. He has nothing. He's going to roll left. Look, throw across his body, and that's complete. And that'll get down about a 10-yard gain, and that'll move the chains with 8:58 remaining in the second quarter, no score.
Now, an interesting adjustment that North High has made defensively is they've taken out a linebacker and they've put in an extra defensive lineman. So there is no linebackers in between the tackles whatsoever. You don't often see that in any kind of football.
Well, and right there, Coach Greider takes advantage of that nice little short pickup where a linebacker usually would be. So here we go, 1st and 10, and they jump, and they will get the offsides encroachment. It's going to be 1st and 5. You got to love 1st and short. We talked about that after the first play of the game, Rich.
Yeah, when we'll see if they go deep on this situation.
48-yard line.
So a couple scores for you. Independence 21, West High 13, BHS 7, Frontier 0. And as far as I know, Bakersfield Christian is still ahead of Ridgeview 2-0.
There you go. Little soccer score for you. Now we're talking. So here we go, the one running back. 3 trips on the far side, 1 on the near side. They'll roll right. Laura's got a little lane, and it gets sucked up in a hurry. And they clog that hole. And the big man for North kind of looks at the sideline, number 53, like, why you running to my side? Got to love those big boys.
Yeah, and North High has plenty of them. The food bill over there has got to be pretty good. Oh, somebody's down there for North High.
Big time. Big time timeout. The Kern High School District would like to thank the U.S. Army for their continued support of the students in the districts. It's a huge deal alongside, let's talk about a little sponsor here. Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, Motor City Buick GMC. I always forget the Buick. I always just throw in the GMC. I'm biased, those GMCs. I worked at the Ritz-Carlton for 6 years, and we were driving all those GMC, SUVs. And they make good SUVs. And then, obviously, Tony's Pizza. And I don't know. I wish I knew how late they were open. That's not a bad idea after this game. I think we'll be here a while, being homecoming extended halftime, that's for sure. So trying to see who's injured for North. It's one of the big boys. Let's see if I can pull
Dylan
that up.
Rutledge, 6'3", 285, captain, 3-year starter, 2 times all SEYL. So that's a big loss for the Stars if he can't come back in.
He's still growing. 6'3", 285. Wow. It's amazing. Look, I don't want to say when I graduated. The difference in size from when I graduated to now and the athleticism of the kids with these size, it's just incredible. So here we go. 2 receivers to each side. They'll run it up the middle. Nice run there by Brandon Austin. And that is going to be a Blades first down. And they got something moving, Rich. Here they come. They've done a little both ways. Nice little chipping away with the pass and then nice couple long gains with the run.
Yeah, they're very balanced, and that's what you want to be offensively. They're keeping North High off on their heels, and they're not allowing Johnson to just turn up the pass rush.
So here's trips to the far side, one on the near side. They thought about handing it to Austin, but Laura keeping himself, and he'll pick up a nice little gang. He's gang tackled, and we may have a late hit on Laura. I think we may get an extra 15 yards tacked onto this.
Yeah, late hit, or they might be calling helmet to helmet there. Either one is probably not in North High's favor.
Number 9, Richard Lara with the carry, and we have a
It is. Good call by Rich.
North High.
And it is an additional 15-yard penalty, and now East is really in business looking to possibly put the first points on the board tonight.
15-yard penalty.
That's going to put them just on the outskirts of the red zone. Something you had mentioned earlier, neither team had broken into the red zone. They're going to be at the 21-yard line, I believe, after that foul.
So you're saying there's a chance. So the Blades,
Ball's going to be spotted at the 21-yard
nice
line.
crowd here on a Friday night.
Blades.
I get a feeling we may hear that crowd for the first time tonight, big time, if East can take the lead here midway through the second quarter.
Yeah, and I think these kids understand the importance, talking to Coach Greider again about this game.
Laura keeps it himself. He'll go up the middle, and he's going to touch pay dirt, and it's a touchdown for the Blades as they'll take an early 6-0 lead halfway through the second quarter.
Boy, hats off there to the running back selling that fake.
I thought he had it. I was even saying he hands it off. And then I looked, and Laura was gone all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, he rolled over the imaginary ball, and he rocked the baby like he's taught to do, and sucked up the entire North High defense and both us broadcasters at the same time.
Well, and usually up above we can usually see it, but let me tell you, that's one of the better fakes you see at the high school level. What a job. Extra point is up, and it is good. And it's going to be a 7-0 lead East over North. We're going to take a quick U.S. Army break. You're watching the Kern High Network.
From California's largest Buick GMC dealership, Motor City, check out these incredible customer reviews. Quote, "It was a completely painless process. We highly recommend Motor City GMC to family and friends." Quote, "Next time I'm in need of a new or used vehicle, I'll definitely come back to Motor City." Ready for a professional-grade experience?
This is where you want to be.
Welcome to the city, Motor City.
Welcome back to the Kern High Network. And, when your last name's Bentley and you have a car named after you, get, he's saying he's parking on the track or something. That's nice.
VIP treatment over there.
They say he's a legend. I got plenty to say about that guy off the air. Just saying. So 7-0 to score. East on homecoming night has the lead, and the crowd's into it. Kickoff will go to the 10. Nice return here, and they'll break outside. And the Stars are going to have great field position on an unbelievable return by Ruvalcaba. What a return there. And that's about a 40-yard return. I thought he got hurt. I'm like, oh, my gosh, don't be hurt on the high private midfield.
Well, big hit there. East High's got to work on their chest bumps a little bit. Guys just got pancaked on a chest bump. But
you know who did that? I think that was Romero with the hit. He's over here celebrating like crazy. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right, that's okay. Lost my train of thought there. That was so funny.
The high fives, chest bumps.
Yeah. So now. North has been able to move the ball, but they shot themselves in the foot. Let's see if they can solve that problem.
Well, it's the yellow hankies that have been killing them, right?
Yeah, the yellow hankies are killing them, but I think they deserved every one of them. It's not like the officials are not calling things that don't need to be called. So it's stuff that North High can control. You can control the extracurricular stuff that's going on out there.
Well, I know why I confused you. You lost train of thought. I said Romero got the tackle, and he's number 5 for East, not for North. So that's where I'm sure I threw you off. So I apologize to that and everybody out there listening and watching in. It was number 5 for East, and I had the rosters mixed up. So the handoff goes up the middle, nothing doing there, and we're still going to have a little 3rd and 5.
Yeah, 3rd and 5, and very impressed with this East High defensive line because they are probably 45, 50 pounds per man lighter than the North High offensive line, but they are battling and holding their own. But what that does do when they're in that set, they are man-to-man on the outside, but again, a double wing is not really a passing formation.
And they'll do the old sweep, and they'll pick up the first down, and they'll run it inside the 40. And Justin Turner, who's probably not doing much for the Dodgers tonight since they're getting beat by Milwaukee in game 1. This Justin Turner picks up a nice little run, and we are going to have an injury for the Blades as he's down and is not moving whatsoever. So nice little run there. That'll move the chains and head to 1st and 10. Let me tell you, just going back to the kickoff, Rich, at least me, look, you take the 7-0 lead. The crowd's into it. You kick off, and then the kickoff goes 40 yards. Unbelievable return. He splits the defense. He takes it to the far side, 40-yard. But then the pop by the Blades player kind of reversed that momentum from that big kickoff. The crowd got right back into it. They're kind of down. You could hear the crowd go silent. And then, boom, the hit, and it's like it was lively all of a sudden. So big momentum switch on both plays for both teams.
Yeah, but if you ask me, I'll take the 40-yard kickoff return and get hit any day of the week.
That's right. That's right.
Take one for the team there.
Hey, I agree. But the East defense has been impressive. They, I think they are averaging what they've allowed. I think they're 18 or 19
18 points a game, yeah.
But there was a game where – what did they lose? 45-25? If you throw that
Monachi.
There you go. You throw that game out, what are they giving up 13 points a game? And they're showing it right here on the defense.
Well, a lot of people just fall in love with offense. And I heard a thing earlier this week that was a bad offensive series ends up in a punt. A bad defensive series ends up in the other team kicking an extra point on you. So defense still in this day and age wins championships. If they can't score, they can't beat you.
Absolutely. Well, let's go to the NFL, right? The Bears were probably destined to be 6-10. They steal Khalil Mack from John Gruden, and now people are talking Super Bowl if Trubisky can just jump a little bit. And look, if Trubisky and the Bears can score 20 points, there's a chance they are lifting the trophy in February.
Yeah, the monsters of the Midway are back. And, the difference one player in the NFL like Khalil Mack can make is amazing. And you'll see that occasionally in high school football, too. A good high school running back is worth his weight in gold. And it's just a difference maker. And out here we see some guys at receiver that can be difference makers, and we see a quarterback that's a difference maker. So,
well, you don't know what you're getting out of draft picks. You knew what you had in Khalil Mack, pay the man, right? And now look, he has more sacks, fumble recoveries, fumbles forced than the entire Raiders defense. Enough said. So here we go, 1st and 10 from right around the 40-yard line. They'll hand it off in that tight formation. A nice little pickup there once again near the first down marker. May just be a little short, probably 2nd and 1. And it is 2nd and short here for North.
And North is trying to put East in the meat grinder, staying in this double tight, double wing look. Down blocks, pulling linemen.
North trying to immediately answer East touchdown. They'll roll right. Nice little toss there by Doughton. And that'll pick up the first down. Nice touch on that play. You got to love these kids nowadays. Nice little touch on the pass. Not trying to fire it through your gut. Remember the days when Brett Favre used to break fingers from 5 yards away. Nice little touch that the kid can make the play on. He falls forward, first down for the Stars.
Yeah, good change up there. They stayed in the double wing, but they threw a little play action out of it and got a guy wide open, moved the chain.
They stay in that tight formation, and it's worked for them this whole drive. They're going to get a nice block there. Nice little run from Fields.
Now, we talked about before, North does a ton of things offensively. In this double wing look, you asked Michael Doughton, the quarterback, to toss the ball back and then become the lead blocker in it. It just puts an extra guy in the hole that typically you don't account for the quarterback being a blocker, but it really makes it 11-on-11 football, and things are starting to click for him right now.
That was the senior Cole Fields. He's a captain, 5'11", 150. You know he's shifty, and he was there. He'll do that same play except to the left. Nice run here, and that'll get him all the way down to the 4-yard line, and it's going to be 1st and goal for North. And now you got to think, if you're Coach Brown, you probably want to run the clock a little bit here. The clock stopped for some reason.
Well, it stops on the first down until they get it marked, yeah.
So 4:15 remaining here, and you probably want to run that clock as much as you can, you don't want to leave East as the little amount of time you can. At this point, East really hasn't shown the threat to go deep like North has.
Well, a little bit of a double-edged sword. When you got the momentum, you want to kind of ride it too here.
That's right. They'll hand it off inside, and Romero will just go in untouched for the first points of the night for North. And they're an extra point away from tying this game. That formation gave East trouble the entire drive, Rich.
Yeah, and I think it started right when I complimented East High on defending it halfway decently. North High started getting 8 to 10 yards of carry on them. So good drive by North High, good response by them, started by a really good kickoff return.
So the extra point pending at 7-6. We may have a tie game here with 3:56 remaining in the first half.
North struggling getting everybody on the extra point unit here.
Well, I think they had one of their linemen hurt, and they were making sure they get that right backup personnel on, and they're going to have a flag on the play, and this can be big. I'll tell you what, that was a nice little extra point. North may have themselves a little kicker, but if this penalty is on East, would North consider going for it?
Well, I think they would, considering how well they've been running that play. I mean, it's the double wing power, and
here they come.
They've been getting 8 yards of carry. What's a yard and a half?
Exactly.
So I'd be shocked if they called anything other than that power. That power, you'll just see a wing back motion. Quarterback tosses to him. Quarterback becomes the lead blocker. Couple linemen pull, and it's been gold for him here.
Run it until they prove they can stop it. Right? So here it is again, but they're going to go for two and look to take the lead. And there it is. They'll swing it wide, and Romero's going to step right inside the goal. I hate that. Don't just step in there and take the hit. There's too many shoulders and things that can go bad. But he gets in there, and the two-point conversion successful. 8-7, North comes right back to take the lead on East. How huge is that?
That's really big. Now, get going for that two-point conversion, have the confidence that you can pick it up, and then picking it up over there gives you the lead. But they've got, East has moved the ball pretty well offensively the last couple drives. The last one ended up in a touchdown. And they, like you said, they've got plenty of time right now with just a little less than 4 minutes. And they've got, doesn't show how many timeouts, but I think they've got at least 2 of their timeouts left, maybe all 3.
Let's give a little shout out here to the Kern High administration. Brian Schaefer, the superintendent, Scott Cole, the deputy superintendent, Brenda Lewis, the associate superintendent, along with Dean McGee and Mike Zolfa. All 3, Lewis, McGee, and Zolfa, the associate superintendents. Obviously, they're a big part of allowing Kern High Network to go along with this. It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a real big deal, and really appreciate the administration being so kid-friendly. You know, this is something that these kids and parents and grandparents, if they're not in town, can keep track of little Johnny and how he's doing. I know even my dad watches these broadcasts, and when I'm out of town, I watch them, so it's a great thing.
The kickoff's a good one. Drives them all the way back to right around the goal line, and the Blades will come up, get it across the 20 around the 24-yard line. Hey, on that note, like you said, my parents are in Florida. Now you're looking, one, they're old because I'm old, so they're up late for them. You know, the big joke is it's death's doorstep, and they all go to bed around 7 o'clock down there. But they're up tuning in down in near Inglewood, Florida. They just missed the big part of the hurricane, and prayers obviously going out to everybody in that panhandle. Man, Hurricane Michael came through there and did a ton of destruction, and they got a lot of wind, rain, and flooding, but everybody's okay, at least where my parents are and my brother are at. So, but
yeah,
man,
that's scary stuff watching that. You know, word is people are afraid of earthquakes in California. Man, I've never seen anything as scary as those hurricanes.
I was through a couple, lived there 6 years. I went through a couple, and it was pretty scary. So here we go. East trails North 8-7. And East will drop back and fire one across. It's complete. And that's going to be a first down. A perfect pass on the slant by Rodriguez. And Laura hit him on the run. And nice hands there by Rodriguez.
Yeah, nice pitch and catch right there. Excellent design of that play, motioning the running back out of the backfield. I think the corner's eyes kind of got on that guy a little bit and allowed the receiver to get a step inside on him. Now this corner's limping up here. You might watch East High go right after him as North takes a timeout. Smart play by Coach Brown. He's got to get a replacement in there. They ought to give him an injury timeout because clearly he's hurt out there.
So will they change that if they see that, or is it a timeout because he gave the old timeout signal?
I think they can change it. That's cornerback Alex Tejeda Jr., who's been really showing a lot of maturity and playing well for North High. Doesn't look like they're giving him the injury timeout. That's where, as a coach, you tell the kid, hey, get down, so that you don't have to use a timeout and you can get somebody out there to look at it.
Well, especially, you know, if it's early in the first quarter, whatever, but now you're late into the second quarter and you're thinking, okay, if we can get a stop, those timeouts could come in handy. So you're exactly right. Big thing here. Just to recap, 8-7, there was no score until East had the ball the previous time. They went down the field, scored, made it 7-0. Then North returned the favor, and they answer, and it's 8-7. So right out of the blue. Now, the funny thing is North has been fighting penalties all night, and then the biggest penalty of the night is the one made by East on the extra point. That allowed North to bring on the offensive team again, and they now have the 8-7 lead with the 2-point conversion. So Laura gets the snap. He take a couple steps back. He airs it out. That's going to be incomplete, and there's going to be flags thrown, and I think that's going to be a little offensive pass interference, or more than likely probably holding on the play. I think
it's going to be defensive pass interference.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry.
So as soon as North High showed man coverage up there, East immediately changed the play to a go route over there and took a shot on him, and they came down with a pass interference penalty. So this should put East, near the 40-yard line or so on North High's side of the field.
Well, and I think that was Rodriguez again, and after that catch on the slant, he's feeling it right now, and they're like, let's feed him, right? So it is a first down, and you're right, Rich. That's going to move it near the 40, right around the 42.
42-yard line, 3:26
and East
remaining in the half.
Looking to answer the answer from North. It's been a back-and-forth battle now, and both teams, both offense coordinators making good adjustments, and they've really got it going on. So Laura with one behind. He'll throw it outside behind him. Oh, it almost was a pick six. Nice defensive play there by Fields. Fields almost came up making that play. And the roughing the passer call, that's another 15 yards. You said it in the first quarter. Now you know they're over 100 yards in penalties for North, and that is just killing that team despite them leading 8-7.
Yeah, and East is good enough on its own. You start giving them assistance like this, and it's going to bite you in the butt.
And it's really, you know, I will admit I did not see that hit or where he hit the quarterback. But eventually, these personal fouls, they're going to come back and bite you. That is for sure. Look at that toss from that official underhand. Are you kidding me? So here we go. Trips to the far side, one on the near side. Laura with the running back behind. They look to hand it to him, and they do. He's able to break a tackle, and Martinez will pick up about 5 yards, make it 2nd and 5.
Yeah, again, North has plenty of time. East High has plenty of time to remain balanced here. In fact, they're probably going to want to run the football themselves to get a little clock run down, as long as they can keep moving the chains and the down marker in the right direction.
Well, and like you know, we had both said earlier, you probably want to run this clock down, especially with those weapons North has on the outside. One long bomb, we saw it early. And they've done it a couple times. They're able to pick up 40, 50 yards in chunks. And it's not dink and dunk. They'll hand it off. Nice run there by Martinez. He gets into the red zone down to the 19-yard line. And once again, East threatening to regain this lead.
Yeah, so really big play in this game right now. 3rd and a long one for East. And, you know, with their quarterback, I wouldn't I'd expect some kind of option in this spot.
That, you may even be thinking you got 2 plays to pick up a yard. So here it is. They'll fake it. They're going to throw it over the middle on play action, and that's going to be a touchdown. And it's going to be a 13-8 lead, and now the question is, you never want to chase points, but will East try to answer the 2-point conversion from North? I'm thinking you probably do, right?
Well, judging by the number of guys that are coming out, I'm going to say they're not going to.
Yep.
Like you said, chasing points can get you in a bind later on over here. So if you're confident in your kicker, I think you kick the extra point.
I love just put points on the board. Always put the points on the board if you can. And the field goal or the extra point is good, and it splits the upper right. And it is 14-8 with 2 minutes left in the half. We'll go to a quick break. You're watching the Kern High Network.
Schools Federal Credit Union is here to be your lifelong financial partner. So while your financial life may start out with a Rocky Raccoon account, as you grow, we'll be with you every step of the way. From your first car and everyone thereafter, to investing in your family's future, to buying that special house you'll call home, Kern Schools is here to help. And if you live in Kern County, then you can bank with us. See, we're local just like you, so what we accomplish together benefits our entire community. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
Welcome back to the Kern High Network. Machado has got all 3 RBIs in that Dodger game. Curtis Stelzer alongside Rich Cornford, and it's been a blast. Kevin Willie behind the camera, and then Bentley over here running the board. So it's a good little crew. This has been fun. 14-8, 2 minutes remaining in the half. Kickoff will reach right around the 5-yard line, and they'll try to return this into nice field position there, but a nice tackle in the open field, and they'll return it to right around the 21, 22-yard line. So 1:51 remaining, and you got to wonder if North is going to take a chance right off the bat here to pick up about 30 or 40 yards.
Well, that was a great play by Anthony Jimenez to make that tackle running down there and back North up. I think North is going to come out and be aggressive. They've made some big plays in the passing game. We see East High playing 2 deep safeties, which I think is a smart move for him.
So we've got 2 to the near side, 2 to the far side. 1 goes in motion. The snap, Doughton, nice pass, and that's going to be dropped. He hit him in the hands, but it's dropped by Fields.
Now, I kind of like the look before North motion. They had the 2 stacked receivers down there, and there was 1 DB up close, but the other one was the safety who was 12 yards back.
Quick screen?
Yeah, quick screen. You have the one guy block for him and get your guy in some space running. And, you know, again, you got the size match up there, which helps with blocking too.
Now, you got to think those coordinators down there saw that, and they'll keep that in memory bank. So 2nd and 10, trips to this side. They'll throw it outside. They won't. They'll run that play right now. We're going to have a face mask. So I don't think it matters that he can go anywhere. At least it looked like to me, Rich, that it was a face mask. And I think we may have a personal foul.
We do have a penalty.
Yeah, and you did say, but hats off to East High for how quickly they reacted. Now, the chess match continues. Now you pump that, and you got the guy going deep that was blocking initially, you know. So we'll see how soon they come back with that play.
The old stop and go that we used to run in the street. So I'm wrong. It wasn't a face mask. They are.
At about the 23-yard line.
It's going to be on North, and they will add to their penalty totals here. And you know there is going to be discussion in that locker room at halftime with Coach Brown and that entire team, and it is not going to be pretty when he's talking about the Yellow Hankies.
Oh, yeah. Coach Brown is one of the more intense individuals you'll find, and, you know, he preaches discipline and doing things the right way.
Ferguson isolated on the near side, sorry, and there is nobody really deep on that. Go ahead, I'm sorry, talking about Norm, because that's what Vance said too. Continue that thought, please.
Yeah, just real discipline, real passionate, you know, wants to do things the right way, is great for the kids, and, you know, it just tears them apart. This is what has hurt them in the past. When they struggled those first 3 weeks, it was penalties and turnovers. Now, they haven't had the turnover problem tonight, but the penalties have just been crazy.
So Johnson up top on the far side and Ferguson here on the near side, and he's had a nice game so far, but they're going to throw it short to Johnson. He's going to try and break a tackle. Can't. Great job by East getting Johnson to the ground. The last thing you need is him breaking a tackle and possibly breaking one.
Yeah, so nice pickup there. Got half the yardage needed for the first down. I do think with that particular set that they had Shannon Ferguson matched up with the corner who's about 8 inches shorter than him. And then here we are again. And if he stays wide on a fade route, the safety will have a tough time getting over, though the safety's definitely cheating.
He did. He dropped that time. 3rd and 6. That's going to be a drop on the far side by Johnson. Good throw by Doughton. Hit Johnson right between the numbers, or in the number, since he wears number 2. And it's going to be 4th and 6 deep, and with 47 seconds remaining in the half, you're going to punt. You're not even going to think about doing something stupid, just trying to switch this field and hold East here. But you know East is going to try and dial something up to possibly take a 2-score lead heading into halftime.
Well, East High, you know, they should get this ball with a half-decent return at midfield at the worst, and they got a couple timeouts. They got a kicker that looks like he can go from about 35 or so. So if they could get the ball to near the 20-yard line, they've got a shot to, you know, get over a 1-score lead.
So the punt, they will down it right on the 40-yard line with 37 seconds remaining. And now you wonder, will they just try and dial up something long if they can get a one-on-one? But you've said it all night. North has the height advantage so much and the size against East. East struggles with those jump balls.
Yeah, and you got to pay attention to where James Johnson is. They've done a good job of controlling him defensively tonight. But you've got a senior quarterback that's a 3-year starter that's been smart with the football. It throws a really nice, sharp ball. You know, and you could still run the ball here if East overplays the pass. If North overplays the pass in some kind of prevent defense, you can run it.
So Laurel drop back the pump fake, and they will go long, looking for Rodriguez again, and that'll be overthrown. And we're going to have a late flag on the sideline, and I think that I'm wondering if they're going to call a personal foul as they kind of hit Rodriguez kind of for no reason. It didn't look anything big, but it's been called tight, and it is going to be – is that a personal foul?
You know, I wasn't looking at the signal.
I don't know what
but
this was.
Boy, I think
sideline, that might be right. Kevin Willie, the cameraman. That's exactly right. Look at Kevin Willie. He called it. The sideline infraction. And it's going to be 1st and 5 with 31 seconds remaining in the half.
Now, if I'm East, in high school football, like in college football, the clock stops on first downs. So
It's gonna be second and
with
5.
them playing their safety so far back, I might call a run play here to try and pick up the first down and just keep them honest. There we go.
Flag on the play. It's usually a hold when it comes from that official.
Came out really quick.
It did. Illegal
shift,
motion.
yeah.
Yep.
We had an illegal shift against the Blades.
So 14-8, and it's gotten choppy here at the end of the half from both teams. And they give that 5 yards right back to North, and so it's 2nd and 10. I still think you want to take a shot. You never know. But the last thing you want, I think you've put it right. You don't want anything. You don't want Johnson to,
Well, to be
make
honest,
a big
I don't
play.
even see Johnson in the game right now.
It's Ferguson that's playing that free safety, and we've seen him with the ball in his hands tonight. If he'd pick one off, look, and you got blockers in front, he could return it the other way, and all of a sudden you got the ball, 21 seconds left, and you go into half, you'd be down because that ball touched Ferguson's hands. So let's take a quick station break here. You're watching the Kern High Network.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing.
Welcome back to the Kern High Network alongside Rich Kornfeld. I'm Curtis Stelzer. 14-8. Good game here. East with the ball.
2nd and 10 from the 40.
Laura, snaps wide. Nice job by Laura. He'll make the catch on the outside. He'll get out of bounds to stop the clock. Good job there by the Blades to make sure that clock stops. I don't know how many timeouts each team has. I kind of lost track, and I can't see it on the board. So 3rd and short, 3rd and 5 for East. All the homecoming festivities are just about ready to get underway. We'll see plenty of floats rolling by, and it's not root beer. So here we go, 3rd and 5 with 14 seconds left. You got to think East takes a chance here to make something happen. They'll throw it outside, and it's going to be completed, and they're going to get in deep into North territory. And that'll get down to 5 seconds remaining. And that is going to be an interesting situation as Rich called it. They can get down around the 20, 25-yard line. Well, they're at the 28. You got to wonder if you'll even think about giving your kicker a chance. It doesn't look like they will.
Yeah, that'd be a 45-yarder, and I would guess that that's probably about 5 to 10 yards outside of his range. But it's not outside of Richard Laura's range of putting the ball in the end zone. You see Jason Beltran there making a tackle. Coach Greider had described him as being fast, smart, and hardworking. I think we saw all three of those things in that last play.
Absolutely. So, and we haven't heard much from him tonight, and that's a huge play, and he is a big-time player. That's what I heard from those guys in the press box during the JV game. You're going to hear Jason Beltran's name all night. And that is a big-time play to give them even an opportunity to maybe throw one up in the corner of an end zone. Now, I think it's that Rodriguez kid. He's going to split out at the top of your screen. But they're going to have trips down here on the near side, and you have to wonder which side they're going. You got to wonder if you want to go back to this Beltran kid. He looks like the tallest kid on the field for East.
You better put 2 people on James Johnson because he's back in at defensive end.
He's going to come with the heat. They'll break away. Laura will throw it. It is complete. Can they get it in the end zone? Onto the 5, and they will not get in, and that will end. Oh, boy. But if a flag comes out, they'd have one play. They will not. I was sure there was going to be a personal foul.
Yeah.
I think North may have got away with something there, Rich. And the clock will expire, and that'll be the end of the first half with the score 14-8 here at East. What do you think here?
Well, I do think North is lucky that a flag was not thrown on that particular play.
Yeah.
They definitely went to the echo of the whistle over there, and maybe then some.
And I think there's still some discussions over here. North is discussing some things with the officials. which they just need to get off the field, right? And if I understand why you're hanging around if you're East, but the coach for North, they are not happy over here with the officiating crew.
Well, if you look at it just from the amount of yards that each side has been penalized, you'd say that North has got the short end of the stick. But we just saw there, it looked like North could have been flagged again. So the obvious fouls anyway are being committed by North right now.
Absolutely. So East leads North 14-8, and we will go to a break here at halftime. For myself and Rich, you are watching the Kern High Network.
Now entering the field for your halftime entertainment is the East Bakersville High School Blade Band and Color Guard. They are led on the field by outstanding drum majors Cassandra Herrera and Martin Diaz. They will be performing a portion of the 2018 film production titled Play. This year's production reminds us that we are never too old to play as we take a glimpse at the life of a child. You'll hear songs from your childhood that take you down memory lane, remembering school days of hopscotch, summer days of flying a kite, and having fun with friends. Remember, we are all young at heart. The band is under the direction of Miss Regina Montano, and she's assisted by marching instructors Jimmy Taliaferro, percussion instructors Crispin Mendoza, Jose Campos, and Ian Whitman. Color guard instructors are Cody Hernandez, Jonathan Hernandez, and brass tech Tim Perazales. Drum majors are Cassandra Herrera and Martin Diaz. Percussion captain is Douglas Serrato. Color guard captains Enrique Vicente and Janessa Flores. Play band and color guard would like to thank the following sponsors: Rick's Family Orthodontics, Charles Hayward, George and Terry Carson, Tim and Catherine Ramos, Brandy and Tanya Ramos, Jose Venegas and family, Gian Radzik, Mike Lovano, Shahab Hilliard, Martin and Teresa Granados, Milk's Coffee Shop, 24th Street Cafe, Jeanette Contreras, Larry and Angela Friends, Felisa Medellin, West Coast Specialties, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, Mary's Elotes, Art Technology, Juan and Anida Ramirez, and Hassan Lynch Rinariron, Alberto Duran, Rosie Banales Diaz, Tony's Firehouse Grill, RNA Countertops, Kadar Claire, Elvia Rubio Tax Service, Gloria and Jeff Smith, Monique Banales Diaz, Sylvina Oleo, and the Bakersfield Real Estate Group. Drum majors, is the band ready? East Bakersfield High School Blade Band and Color Guard, you may take the field for performance. Another round of applause for our East Bakersfield High School Blade Band and Color Guard. I'd like to recognize principal here at East Bakersfield High School, Mr. Leo Holland, right out near field. He's going to be accompanying all of our finalists in tonight's halftime festivities. Turn your direction to our United States flag side of the field, main entrance. You'll see our cars coming in. In car number 1, we will have our grand marshals for tonight. All right, in car number 1, we have our Grand Marshals, DJ and Linda Whipple. They're honored to be here this evening, and although they are graduates of BHS and Delano, they now consider themselves as true Blades. They have been longtime Booster Association members and are currently the membership chairman and president of the club. The Whipples are retired and spend their spare time volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club and the Kern County Library. But most importantly, they love visiting their daughter Miranda, a 2009 graduate of East High. In our next vehicle, we have our reigning Betty Blade, Miss Mary Jane Jones. She is currently studying kinesiology at Antelope Valley College and, of course, playing her signature sport of basketball. Our reigning Bobby Blade, Cameron King, is attending school in Arizona and regretfully could not make the trip back, but loves his Blade family from afar. Up next, our lovely senior cheerleaders. They are riding in style in this incredibly rare 1936 truck driven by community member Richard Casagrande. These ladies know how to bring the spirit to the Blade family. Along with more of our cheerleaders, we have our new ED mascot. He has been unveiled for our school's 80th birthday, and this swashbuckling hero is made a vow to protect our Blade family values and carry on the legacy of this fine institution. He has yet to be named, but we will be having a contest to find a name befitting this fine bladesman. Our mascot is being driven in style by East High alumnus Staff Sergeant Misael Ramos. Staff Sergeant Ramos was recently promoted in the ceremony right here in our own very own Senior Park. Up next are 4 Betty and Bobby Blade finalists. In the first vehicle, we have Soleil Bomber and Carlos Estrada. In our next vehicle, we have Yulitza Ramos and Amador Gallardo. Our third set of finalists are Cindy Pelayo and Mohamed Nash. And our last vehicle contains Julia Garcia and Jason Beltran. All 8 candidates exemplify the qualities of a true blade. And now it's time for our amazing floats. This year's theme is festivals around the world. These students have worked many hours into the night to make this parade possible. Our first float is brought to you by our freshman class, the class of 2022. They are celebrating Chinese New Year. Have a fortune cookie on them. Up next, the sophomore class of 2021. They're celebrating the Indian Holy Color Festival. This fun parade brings a smile on the face of all participants because who doesn't need a little more color in their life? Next up, our junior class, the class of 2020. The theme for the junior class is Dia de los Muertos, and they have brought it to life. This float even features an altar and a marigold bridge that connects those in this life with their beloved ancestors. And last but certainly not least, our seniors, the class of 2019. They're bringing you Carnival from Rio de Janeiro, right here to Bakersfield. Bright colors and feathers make this a world-renowned festival. Que piensa que está solo y que está mal, tiene que saber que no es así, que en la vida no hay nadie solo, siempre hay alguien ahí. Our panel of judges have seen all of the floats and special performances that each class choreographed beforehand. And this year's winner for Best Overall Festival Around the World Float is the junior class. Congratulations to the junior class of 2020.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile.
And I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
There are
Can we have one last round of applause for our Betty and Bobby finalists for 2018? Bobby Blade for 2018 is Mohammed Nash. Betty Blade for 2018, Soleil Bond. Congratulations all finalists, and congratulations Muhammad and Soleil. Again, congratulations, Soleil Bomber and Muhammad Nash, and all of our incredible finalists. You are and forever will be etched into the legacy of East Bakersfield High. A special thanks to Three-Way Chevrolet for donating the beautiful trucks here tonight. our class advisors who put in countless hours supervising their students, and all the volunteers who have made this homecoming possible.
Every team trains hard. Every team prepares to win. But when U.S. Army soldiers take the field, it's best if the other guys don't bother showing up. See if you have what it takes at goarmy.com/team.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
From California's largest Buick GMC dealership, Motor City, check out these incredible customer reviews. Quote, "It was a completely painless process. We highly recommend Motor City GMC to family and friends." Quote, "Next time I'm in need of a new or used vehicle, I'll definitely come back to Motor City."
Fantastic work on both sides from both teams. 204 total yards of offense.
Welcome back to East Bakersfield High School. My name is Curtis Stelzer alongside Rich Cornford. We just want to give a little shout out to that administration at East Bakersfield High School along with North on obviously the hospitality. We're sitting up here on top of the press box. Great view of the game. Leo Hollins, the principal. Pam Crane is the assistant principal, along with John Rose. Dean of Students is Jennifer Anderson. Woo, let me speak English. Dean of Support Services is Russ Shepard. And Activities Director Shannon Barnes and Athletic Director Ken Chapman. For North, as I dig through, as we are getting ready. In fact, we'll come back to North because we are about ready to kick off. Man, they got those floats off in a hurry, Rich.
Yeah, they did a good job. Nice halftime performance. Junior class had the outstanding float, which was kind of in a league of its own out here.
Are you kidding? It's being pulled by a semi. They better win. That was unbelievable. So here we go. East leads North 14-8, and they will receive the kick to start second half.
Yeah, and we saw both offenses really heat up there in the second quarter and move the ball consistently. So if East can continue that trend, they'll have a 2-score lead at the end of this.
Well, Belichick really has started that thing, right? Defer the kick, get the ball in the second half. Here's the kickoff and nice little return there up to the 26. But Belichick with the Patriots, right? You want to defer, get the ball in the first half and hopefully score and then get it to start the second. And that's really turned into a big thing in the NFL.
Yeah, you're seeing more and more teams going with that. I always kind of like my offense on the field first and like to try to play with a lead. But, again, defense wins championships. So if you trust your defense, that's a great way to do things.
So here we go. East will come out. Probably right now the leader in the clubhouse for Tony's Pizza Player of the Game. Laura, the quarterback, strolls out with his team to start the second half.
Yeah, he had a great first half, both running and throwing the ball.
And he'll throw it over, and you got to think, was that backwards? They blew the whistle, so it was forward, and I was thinking there was going to be interference because he was hit before the ball got there, but no flag.
Well, I think because it was thrown behind the line of scrimmage is why there's not a flag on.
But then it's a fumble, right?
Well, not thrown backwards.
You're
it
right.
wasn't a lateral.
That's right.
But the ball was thrown behind the line of scrimmage. Because the blockers can block you as long as it's thrown behind the line of scrimmage, so you can go get them.
Didn't even think of that.
But, boy, North has jumped those quick routes really fast. It could be a good time for a hitch and go eventually.
Absolutely. Second down, they'll run it up the middle into a wall of star players. And it's going to be third and long and not what you want to see from your offense. But I'll tell you what, if you're Coach Norm Brown on the far sideline, you're just happy you've seen a couple plays without a couple of yellow flags coming out at this point.
Boy, that's the truth. And we're just guessing, but it was probably 120 or so yards in penalties in that first half against North. And, East moved the ball decently on their own, but certainly aided by a lot of North High penalties.
So trips to the near side, one on the far side, running back, they'll play action. They will throw it deep, and it's going to be overthrown, and we're going to have 4th down, and it is a clean series for North defensively, no flags, and that will make East punt from deep in their own end. And right off the bat, North is going to get good field position here after the 3 and out they forced on East.
Yeah, and I don't remember East going 3 and out in the first half. So that's a huge stop for the North High defense. We've seen their special teams. They've got their punt return team dialed in. Last half they had 2 returners back deep, and they did a good job of fielding the punts. They're going with only 1, and he's standing about 30 yards back. And we've seen the punt go about 25 yards past the line of scrimmage, so we'll see if he can field it clean.
And it's Alex Ruvalcalba back deep, but it's a short punt, but a great bounce for the Blades, and that is going to fall right around the 37. But Ruvalcalba, he's a sophomore, and he's really had some nice moves tonight anytime he got hands on the ball.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't go with the 2 guys back. Again, that punt wasn't any better than the other ones. If you field that in the air, you don't get that 15-yard bounce.
Well, you're probably across midfield.
Right.
Right? So here we go. I love this call by Chad Greider right here, Rich. You're going to stay with that formation that East couldn't stop. Starting about halfway through the second quarter is going to be a flag on the play, and they had a nice little gain there right off the bat. I'm telling you, this formation has given the Blades issues for about the last 8 to 10 minutes of play.
So what we've got here, so that Norm Brown there for North High, a little upset at this call. They're calling a chop block on the tight end for North on the back side there, and I know it's something that Coach Greider was aware of before, that tight end block chops way inside, and it's okay if you chop immediately. The guy in the gap inside of you, but he's going a couple gaps inside, and I think the referees were made aware of that, and they just called it. So.
Well, that's a really dangerous play, and people get hurt with that, players, right? That's the reason for the call.
It ends up being a high-low, essentially, because somebody else is engaged with that guy.
Yep. So Norm Brown, sorry about that, he comes out with this same formation. We said it. You have to prove you can stop this formation until I'm going to go away from it. It has really worked. And they will hand it off, and they will pick up some yards. I was wondering if there was face mask. Obviously not. No flag there. Pick up a few yards. Still going to be 2nd and long.
Yeah, and, it is 2nd and long, not really a passing formation here, but East High's playing with 2 safeties. I think you need to take one of those out and put an extra linebacker or lineman in here, or they're going to grind some yards on you.
Absolutely. They will. Oh, and he's going to fall. I was about to say, you're down. You're down in high school, right? Just like college?
Yeah, you're down.
Yep. So, Doughton slips, and that is a tough play there, especially East now all of a sudden – you called it. Surprised you didn't have 2 guys trying to return the ball because of the 15-yard bounce and now the big penalty. East has a chance to flip this field position real quick when it looked like it could have been really bad for them after before their punt on 4th down to start this opening drive of the half. So here we are, 3rd and 27. Doughton will roll out. Can he break away? He'll throw one long, and that's going to be intercepted by the Blades, and they're going to be able to return it deep down the sideline, and he's going to get into the end zone for a pick 6, and it's going to be a 20-8 lead for the homecoming Blades.
And Doughton is hurt on the field right now. He's still on the ground over there.
And that's their quarterback, their strong-arm quarterback, and it doesn't look like he's just out of breath. He must have got popped, and he's hurting bad.
Yeah, you hope it's not a leg injury. That could be what it was. And that formation, they're in that double wing. East played the 2 safeties back. It's not a formation designed to throw out of that much, but they sent some guys deep, and they actually had Johnson open, but Doughton couldn't get enough on that ball to get it to him, underthrew it, probably because he was getting drilled.
He was. He was getting hit right as he threw.
Throwing it, and East High comes up with the big play.
Well, and the thing is, if he can roll out and get his feet under him as well, stop and throw, he probably gets more on it. He was also throwing on the run. He's looking to throw it about 50 yards in the air. And look, you get those guys even in the pros. There's some of those guys at the pro level are trying. They're struggling to, roll right and throw 50 yards on the run. So you're asking a high school kid to do that and somebody all over him. You pretty much asking for a little bit. It is triple coverage and a good return by East. And they got blockers in front, and they returned it for the score.
Looks like he's going to get back on his feet. That's a good sign. But not putting a whole lot of pressure on that right leg.
A round of applause for number 12, quarterback Michael Doughton.
So the former East Blade, Michael Doughton,
We hope he's going to be okay for the
just
rest of the
transferred to North, and he looks like there's no way he's going to finish this one. They're going to have to look to their backup quarterback, and I'm wondering, my guess would be it's going to end up being Ferguson.
Well, I know Ferguson is a heck of a good athlete and can do just about anything on the football field. And I know that there was a competition between those two, I believe, earlier in the season. So I think that's probably a pretty good guess.
So East looking to go up by 13, and they do. It's their largest lead of the night, 21-8 here with 9:16 remaining in the third quarter. Let's go to a U.S. Army station break. You are watching the Kern High Network.
From California's largest Buick GMC dealership, Motor City, check out these incredible customer reviews. Quote, "It was a completely painless process. We highly recommend Motor City GMC to family and friends." Quote, "Next time I'm in need of a newer used vehicle, I'll definitely come back to Motor City." Ready for a professional grade experience?
This is where you want to be.
Welcome to the city, Motor City.
Welcome back to the Kern High Network. Rich just asked me, and I apologize. We were worried about Doughton being hurt. We couldn't see who picked that ball off, and when we saw Doughton down, all our attention turned to the injured quarterback because we knew it wasn't just he was out of breath. We knew it was a bad injury. So I apologize for missing out on the call from the PA announcer, and, those numbers can be hard to see when they're parallel with us. So the kickoff will end up right around the 10-yard line, and it's returnable. It'll come up to the 20, 25, 30, out to the 33-yard line. Goes North, and they really need a score here to cut this lead to one score.
If I was to guess, I think it was the left safety on that was playing the deep half, who I think is Jackson Phillips. Not positive on that, but
man, he stepped in
front. The left safety.
And all momentum, and the thing is, he caught it on the run. So all his momentum was going forward, and, he was gone in a flash.
He made a great move at the end, too.
He did. Little handoff there. That goes nowhere. Looks like East may have figured out this formation. They played good defense here to open up the second half.
Well, it is easier to play defense when it's, what was it, 2nd and 25?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It'd be interesting. If I were North, I wouldn't give up on it too early because they did have a lot of success in it in the second quarter.
And it's Ferguson that's in it, quarterback. So you called it. You said they had a little competition and Doughton won out. So I think we're going to have a timeout on the field. And this is a tough situation. Talk to me, Rich, about bringing in the backup quarterback. Obviously not getting many reps. I think the one advantage that you do have if you're Coach Norm Brown is, look, he was in the competition for the quarterback here at spring practice or whatever, preseason.
Yeah, and he's a good athlete. The North High does so many things offensively. You wonder, can he possibly have them all mastered? So what I would expect Norm to do is which area of the offense does he feel most comfortable with, and kind of do that one. Now, if it is the double wing run game, you certainly don't want to fall behind anymore. But still, with this much time left in the third quarter, you can continue to grind the ball as long as you're picking up first downs and moving the chains.
Well, yeah, 1 touchdown, and I mean, you're still only down 2 touchdowns.
Right. You don't have to go to a pass-heavy set.
Absolutely. Run your offense, see what he's comfortable with. But, we talked about it early. He was showing signs of life, this Ferguson kid, early on, and he was making plays. So man goes in motion. He'll drop back. Let's see what he has. First time he'll throw tonight. He's going to be rushed out of the pocket. He's going to try and make a play. He's going to throw it up for grabs to Johnson. He can't make the play, and that is the right call. There is a defensive pass interference as they were all over him. Brandon Austin will commit the defensive pass interference. Man, oh man, Ferguson rolled left and threw it about 40 yards in the air against his body. And man, good throw.
Yeah, and you see the athleticism of Ferguson there at quarterback, and then the understanding that, hey, Johnson's one-on-one with somebody, I think I'll throw it up to him.
Well, we've talked about it, right? It's just as good as a punt. Not that they were thinking about it at that point, but look, you throw it deep like that, you kind of flip the field, but huge play, athlete to athlete, right? Ferguson to Johnson, and it causes the 15-yard. It's not like the NFL. It's not at the spot of the foul. This is 15 yards. So they'll get back into that real tight formation, and that's a nice little run there near a first down, and it will get it. In fact, they're going to get about 11 or 12 yards on the carry. Romero, you see, you don't want to go away from him. 400-yard gains. He can run the ball. I'm thinking you may want to power with this guy. Wearing the number 5 jersey kind of reminds you of some guy at Stanford back in the day. Wonder who that would have been. There he goes again. He'll cut right this time, cuts it back inside. He'll pick up 5 yards, and you can see what's the right word? Of course, I'm going to go blank, but the urgency of North now needing to score. They're going quick. They're playing fast now. You haven't seen this all night. They are really picking up the tempo now.
Yeah, going with a no-huddle look here, getting right on the ball. Not necessarily going super fast no-huddle.
They'll just push it forward. Ferguson's going to push forward with that beef in front of him, and he's going to be close to a first down and a 2nd and 5. He's going to be right at the marker. We may have our first measurement tonight, or they're going to give him the first down. They're going to say he's got it.
Boy, you saw the surge there just from a quarterback sneak. I mean, again, we talked about the size advantage. Why do anything else if you're getting that many yards on a quarterback sneak?
Absolutely. They'll hand it off to Romero again, a little pitch. He'll cut back inside, and he'll be near a first down, and he is. He's going to pick up another one. Back-to-back 12-yard carries each time Romero touched the ball, and in between there was a 5-yard little, I think you put it perfect, right? Surge from Ferguson. Man, that run game is looking unstoppable on this drive for North. Trailing 21-8 midway through the third quarter. Ferguson back at quarterback again. Moach went down with the injury, and he's going to cut back. He'll throw it, and he slips, and that is going to be picked off in the end zone. They're going to discuss it, but I think it's going to be a touchback. It is. It's a touchback for East, and that brings a quick stop to a long drive by North. They tried to throw it. The receiver slipped in the end zone, and when he slipped, that allowed North to get the interception. They're now up 13 with the ball, 7:05 remaining in the third.
Yeah, and this is where as why running the football is always so important, because when you got a 2-score lead and you want to grind some clock out and make it work in your favor over there, you got to be able to run the football. So not to say that East High has to run the football every play, but you're going to need to be able to run it effectively to really grind the clock.
Laura leads his team back out with a 13-point lead here. Third quarter, they'll hand it off up the middle, and that goes nowhere. And it'll be 2nd and long.
Well, that was Dylan Rutledge there. We saw him go out with a little bit of an injury in the first half. Nice to see him back in the second half because he's a big difference maker for the North High Stars.
Are you surprised North threw the ball the way they were running it the last 4 or 5 plays?
Yeah, a little bit, but then again, when they do stop you, you say, well, you should have been a little bit more diverse. But yeah, they were getting chunk yards right there, and maybe got a little too fancy.
This drive by East brought to you by Motor City GMC. And we're going to snap it, Laura, across the middle. That's going to be complete. Nice throw there, and there's that man, Jason Beltran. Nice throw from Laura. Big gain, and that's first down, and that'll continue to get that clock rolling here. But like I said, 6 minutes, you don't have to run it every time. They pass, you complete it, and now once that clock starts back up, tick, tick, tick. For North, down 13, that clock's going to move, and that clock's going to move fast for him, Rich.
Well, it's the second time we've seen him complete that slant when they motioned the back out of the backfield. We've seen North play very aggressive against the short pass game over there, and East used that to their advantage to get a nice gain on that slant route.
Well, and you got to think there's some urgency for North as well without their starting quarterback now. And there's going to be a play fake that goes nowhere. A little chirping going on, and that's going to be a loss. That's for sure. About a 5-yard, 4-yard loss. It's going to be 2nd and 14.
Well, that was really well played by North High, not giving Richard Laura a chance to keep that ball, and that's the same play that he scored the touchdown on earlier. They tackled him for about a 4-yard loss here, so great play by the North High Stars and their defensive front.
Now with that, knowing it was going to be a run play, is that just a running loss, or is that a sack because he was the quarterback?
No, that's a
Just a
tackle
loss.
for loss,
Okay.
yeah, not a sack.
I didn't know how they wanted to. You know, some of those guys that push the stats, you never know. They'll hand that off up the middle, and that goes nowhere. And it's going to be, can pick up a couple yards. Martinez gets it out. Yeah.
It was a good job by the nose guard for North, stalemating the center there, really holding the center of the line up and not allowing any kind of push.
So it's 3rd and 12. You got to wonder if they'll let Laura show off that gun again on a quick slant. It's been successful for East when they've thrown the ball. Or will they think about, hey, you know what, we run the ball. We can get this clock under the 4-minute mark, up 13. I know you're not looking that far ahead, but you're also, look, with North without Doughton, you got to think the passing attack kind of takes a little hit too for North, and they're going to have to run the ball a little bit more. It's going to take up more time on the clock. Laura tries to cut it up the middle, basically gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and we're going to have 4th and long, and you know East is going to bring out that punt team now.
Yeah, you don't want to get too conservative and too predictable if you're East High. You want to continue mixing things up. But, you know, a 3rd and 12, that's only going to be converted maybe 20% of the time. So, and that's when turnovers and sacks and fumbles, you know, occur. So, you know, sometimes you want to be aggressive on 1st or 2nd down. If you get into a 3rd and long situation, maybe the best idea, I think what they did, just run the ball and punt, because punting is not the worst thing that can happen to you.
Number 14, Alex Rubalcaba.
So here comes the punt on 4th and 8. And it's a knuckleball that'll bounce right at the 31, and it'll bounce inside the 30 and land right at the 30-yard line. With 3:36 remaining, let's go to a quick timeout. This will be a Motor City GMC timeout. You're watching the Kern High Network.
From California's largest Buick GMC dealership, Motor City, check out these incredible customer reviews. Quote, "It was a completely painless process. We highly recommend Motor City GMC to family and friends." Quote, "Next time I'm in need of a newer used vehicle, I'll definitely come back to Motor City. Ready for a professional grade experience?"
Welcome back to the Kern High Network. The pass thrown, overthrown. It'll be a 2nd down for North, trailing by 13 here on homecoming night at East Bakersfield High School. If you're just joining us, it's been a good ball game.
Yeah, it's been a great ball game, and we have Shannon Ferguson playing quarterback right now for the Stars, and you know, he looks pretty comfortable throwing to James Johnson. So
don't we all?
If I'm East High, I'm making sure I've got safety help over the top of wherever Johnson's going to line up. He's lined up as a tight end right now.
Well, you also take that threat out, right? We had seen them split both those guys out, and you had to choose a side you really wanted to double. Ferguson swings it out wide, and that'll be dropped by Romero, and that'll be 3rd down and 10. Hey, look, when you had Doughton at quarterback, you had Johnson on the one side, Ferguson on the other. Look, kind of pick your poison if you're East at that point, right? And if you're going to double both of them, I'll just give the ball to Romero and he'll run. But now with Doughton out, that takes that big threat on one of the wings out and puts a little, dent in the armor that you can throw at East.
Yeah, and it appears that North is just not quite in sync, and that happens a lot when your backup quarterback's in.
Ferguson's going to roll left again. He gets away. He's going to try and throw one.
Wow.
It's going to be complete. Whew! What hands by Justin Turner. Are you kidding me? I think he stole that from his teammate, and it was a great catch, and it's right at the – I thought it was right at the marker. It's short.
Yeah, they're 3 yards short, but
I thought he was a little farther forward, but he wasn't. You're right. So 4th and 3, going to gamble from their 37-yard line. They need to get to the 40, and they're going to run it to Romero. Can he get there? And he will get right to the marker.
Yeah,
it's going to depend on the
close.
spot, and I think he got it.
yeah, it looked like they had to get right to the 40-yard line. Looks like the right foot of the top official, which you always go with the downfield foot. That's where they mark it.
I think we may have our first measurement of the night. It is that close, folks. They're going to look at it, and they're going to call timeout, and we're going to have, for the first time this evening, the old Kern Schools Federal Credit Union measurement. It is close. I think he got it. I think he got it by about a half a football. In fact, they already have a first. Well, you automatically change it to first down because it's 4th down. Question is,
Romero,
does he have it?
On the last carry, picks up about 3 yards. So we have an official's measurement.
Rich
on
has the
field.
perfect view, it looks like, and so does Kevin Willie, giving me the old thumbs up. And they got it
That was good enough
by
for
a
him.
nose
Yeah.
of the football to
Ball at the
keep
40
this
yard
drive
line.
alive, Rich. Huge conversion by North.
Yeah, and I think if I'm North, I'm just going to settle into that double wing and run it play after play after play. We've seen him try to throw it about 5 or 6 times right now. They completed one for about 6 yards, but for the most part, he's been running for his life back there. Here's the double wing.
There's false start on the offense.
Oh.
That'll be a 1st and 15. I agree with you. You never want to put that pounding on, those big boys up front, just nonstop running or Romero, and you can change up the runner, but it takes its toll. But right now, you need to get the win. The league title more than likely may be on the line right here. Like we had said, the winner has that inside track. And right now, those big boys up front are going to have to take that beating for North to try and get them back in this ball game. Little pitch to Romero. He's got blockers. Nice little pickup there.
Yeah, the ones going to take the beating, though, are the guys at East High who are 40 to 50 pounds lighter per man than the big boys for North. So, defensive football takes more out of you energy-wise than offensive football does.
Right.
And so those are the guys that get gassed sooner, especially if you're undersized going against a couple 300-pounders up front there for the North High Stars.
Well, and those big boys up front, heck, they probably went to Coach Norm and they're like, hey, let's go. Let's run it. We're running it. We're running it successful. Let us eat. So there's a little pitch, and and he'll run a man over, and he'll get down. Oh, the horse collar there. Number 52, Mark Castro.
That's Damian Morales, yeah.
Thank you. Man, that may be the hit of the night, and he was the ball carrier.
Yeah, he's Larry Zonka-esque right there. Attacking the defender, always the hammer, never the nail. We've seen him back there using him in pass protection and lead blocking. Give the big guy the rock and
the
let him go.
6 foot, 220-pound senior bowled over the defensive player of the Blades, and now it's going to be second. You got to love after the play and what these guys. You better get away with it. You better not see a flag when there's that extracurricular. So clock under 2 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. And just like Rich said, I'm going to line them up and I'm going to run them. And that's exactly what North is doing to get back in this ball game. Ferguson back under center. Romero that's that big boy Morales again. Ferguson's going to take one step to the right and try to cut up. He thought he saw a hole, and man, that got closed up in a hurry by East.
Yeah, well, North was unbalanced to the left. They had a tight end. He was covered up by a receiver. They had a wing back on that side. And I don't know if he was supposed to go right on that or not. Looks like they're discussing it over there.
So 3rd and 4, more than likely, you got to think you have 2 downs to get 4 yards here for North. I think they're probably going for it in the range they're in. Ferguson will flip it to Romero, and he's going to cut inside. He's got the first down and more. He'll get inside the 15, and that's going to be 1st and 10 from about the, 13, 14-yard line. There go the Chains. They move forward a little more.
This is the spot in the field where they tried to throw it last time and ended up being intercepted in the end zone. I don't think they'll make that mistake again. I think they're
the
just
words right out of my mouth.
Keep grinding.
That's right. Romero again. This time Ferguson will keep. Oh, they did flip it to Romero. Man, nice little cheeky flip there. And Romero continues to gain yards. And you got to think, I know, he didn't get a ton of touches, but he's really picking up yards every time he's touching the ball now. I got to wonder if he's close to his 5th 100-plus yard game.
Yeah, this is what they want to do. They want to feed him the ball behind that big line and wear you out. And, they put a touchdown on the board here, either at the end of this quarter or the beginning of the next one, and it's anybody's ball game.
Well, and they've got what's called Big Mo, right? That momentum is all on their side if they can get this into the pay dirt. Romero, once again, he's near the first down. See where the spot is. If he picks it up, it's going to be 1st and goal, and we're going to go to the 4th quarter. Let's go to a station break. You are watching the Kern High Network.
Every team trains hard. Every team prepares to win. But when U.S. Army soldiers take the field, it's best if the other guys don't bother showing up. See if you have what it takes at GoArmy.com/team.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
Schools Federal Credit Union is here to be your lifelong financial partner. So while your financial life may start out with a Rocky Raccoon account, as you grow, we'll be with you every step of the way, from your first car and everyone thereafter, to investing in your family's future.
Welcome back to the Kern High Network. We definitely want to give a shout out to another group that helps make this possible. I know Rich knows all these guys. Stan Green, the director, with Javier and Deanna Ribbons, all those people up there in the offices just keeping this going. That's a fun thing they're doing, Rich. Like you said, it's all about the kids, and it's always fun for their parents and grandparents to be able to see this.
Yeah, Stan's done a great job, and if you look at the magazine, the Achieve magazine that they produce, it's just fantastic.
Yellow hanky on the field. It's going to be a holding on North and penalties. It was 3rd and 1. They picked up the first down, and penalties continue to just bite the Stars. That'd be 3rd and 11. Almost. I know you can kick the field goal and cut it to 10, Rich, but you got to think you're probably going for it on 4th down in this spot.
Yeah, and you've been picking up good yards. But boy, they finally had a drive here. They hadn't shot themselves in the foot. And I didn't see where the penalty was on that particular one, but that definitely hurts. But if I'm them, I stay in the double wing, at least for this play.
Well, it's been the most successful formation for them by far tonight. And now with their starting quarterback out, it's really been successful for him. But Ferguson's going to drop back. He's going to look. He's going to throw it into the left corner. Could have been picked off. And there's going to be a flag, and that may be offensive pass interference. And now the question is, would you accept it or decline? No. The way East is reacting, we may have a penalty on East. And if that's the case, that's a 1st down. So what's the call? They are discussing it. The officials get together.
Well, I certainly didn't see it being on East. He's got as much right to the football as that. It was an underthrown pass.
Pass interference on East. And you know, if you're Coach Greider, you're probably going crazy because I'm with you, Rich. I would have seen holding maybe when he made his cut, but I did not see pass interference whatsoever. And is that an automatic first down?
So it's going to be half the distance to the goal, leaves it at third down there. So, but perfect double wing territory again for the Stars. They'll take that.
3rd and 3 from inside the 10-yard line. And Ferguson will just push forward, as Rich said it perfectly, that big surge following the beef up front. And we're going to have a penalty, and the way East is reacting, you get a feeling it's a personal foul on East. They do pick up the first down, so no matter what happens, it's still first down. It's an after-the-play foul, or was set as a dead ball foul. And what is the call from the referee? Like I said, one of the Blades players came out of there, and with his reaction, it looked like it was going to be a personal foul on East. The referee, I think it's going to be half the distance. That's what they're discussing. It is a personal foul.
Against East High.
I'm assuming there's nothing like college and pros where if you're getting 2 personal fouls, they're kicking you to the curb now. Is that a rule in high school yet?
Well, I'm thinking on the second one that you are out.
Yeah. So they are keeping track of those officials. So 1st and goal from the 2. Go ahead.
I'm guessing quarterback sneak again.
Yeah, that's surge. Oh, they're going to hand it off to Romero, and he's going to get in, and that's going to be his 12th rushing touchdown of the year. And all of a sudden, North cuts that lead to 21-14. They bring out the kicking unit, and they can cut this lead to 6 with still 11-17 remaining here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, East High is going to have to put together one more good scoring drive because if North gets the ball back with anything approaching 5 minutes left on the clock, I don't see them getting stopped unless they get flagged.
Right. You said it. The defense is what it's taking its toll on. The defense are continually running that ball, and those guys up front are starting to get mauled by that offensive line of North. So here's the extra point, and we're going to have, I think it was a false start. May have been a little missed.
East High kid jumped at the top.
They were.
Now, are they going to go for 2 here? Because really the numbers don't say go for 2.
Right? No reason to do it. But, heck, that surge from the 2.5, take our free points. But I agree with you. Something crazy happens. If this would make it 21-16, interesting decision. Can you go for 2? Yeah, you can go for 2. So if they'd kick a field goal, you're still within 8, right? So that may be the decision, and they will get in the end zone. Not a bad decision now that we sit here and talk about it, right, Rich?
Well, yeah, they made it, but the difference between 5 and 6, you know.
Well, if they'd kick a field goal, you're still within 8. Right? 24-16, that's not a bad decision.
Yeah, I do see that, but I don't see them kicking a field goal. You know, to be quite honest with you, their kicker's got somewhat limited range.
Sure.
Though that's a valid point. I don't know if that played into their thinking. When I watched them play Shafter, their kicker did miss an extra point or 2 in that game. So maybe they're thinking, hey, 1.5 yards to go, we actually have better odds of making it this way, especially the way we're pounding the rock on them.
Right. Well, let's go to a U.S. Army timeout. We got an injury on the field as well. You are watching the Kern High Network.
Every team trains hard. Every team prepares to win. But when U.S. Army soldiers take the field, it's best if the other guys don't bother showing up. See if you have what it takes at GoArmy.com/team.
One thing about Kern Schools is you get to do your banking your way.
I still like writing checks and visiting my branch.
For me, it's all about the mobile, and I still do everything online or through the ATM.
So no matter how you do your banking, Kern Schools is always there.
Welcome back to the Kern High Network alongside Rich Cornford. My name's Curtis Stelzer. We got a barn burner. You know, scoreless after one. Now we're looking at 21-16. The East High Blades leads North on their homecoming night. So they've got a 5-point lead, and you said it, right? You got to win your homecoming game. It's just a big deal, right? New energy for the rest of the season. The winner improves to 3-0, and they got that inside track to the league title. It's been a good one.
Yeah, been a really good one, and I think North High's stolen some of the momentum here. Last time we saw East go 3 and out, so if North can get another of those, they're in the driver's seat.
Well, there's no doubt about it. That Big Mo is on the white jersey side of the ball right now. The kickoff by North. Driven down to the 10. That's returnable. They will bring it. Up to the 25, to the 30, across the 30-yard line. Nice return and a clump of bodies by East to get them some nice field position to start this drive early in the fourth.
Well, we've seen Richard Laura make all the right moves here and the smart decisions, protect the football, and help the East High move down the field, but no drive has been more critical than this one. I don't think you just try to run some clock right now. I think you try to get points. I think if you can get some points, that's what's going to seal it. If you get too cautious and just try to run clock, I think you're doing North High a favor.
Yeah, I got to wonder if maybe they'll try a little play action here and try, I agree with you. There's too much time on the clock in a one-score game to just run it. I'm wondering if they'll do a little play action and maybe try and beat somebody deep on one-on-one. No play action, but they will throw, and they're going to get to the quarterback, and they'll sack him at the 21-yard line. Big loss of about 10. You're looking at 2nd and 20 now.
Yeah, boy, North just jumps those short routes so fast. I think you can bend some stuff and work to the middle of the field like they have a couple times on that slant play. And get them on that. But a huge play. North came into this game with 30 sacks on the season. That's more than 4 a game. They haven't had too many tonight, but that's a big one right there on first down.
Absolutely. Knocks them to 2nd and long. It's 2nd and 18. Laura on the pitch. And they got a little room on the outside. Can he cut outside? He does. Nice little pickup there. Back to the original line of scrimmage and more. I think that's Martinez on the carry. A nice little pitch there by Laura, and Martinez, nice bit of running there, and now it's 3rd and 9.
Yeah, Martinez really finished that run well. I mean, he milked that thing for every inch it was worth. And in a game like this, that's really important.
Well, to cut outside and grab those extra 3 or 4 yards, and instead of 3rd and 13 or 14, you look at 3rd and 9. How huge is that? Definitely doable here on 3rd and 9 for Laura and the Blades. They split 2 to the far side, 2 to the near side, 1 in the backfield. They'll throw it short, and it's going to be dropped.
Boy, we've seen Jason Beltran make some big plays after the catch, but that time you could see him take his eyes off the football and start to make his move before he caught it, and that was a big drop.
We are setting up for one heck of a finish here at East. 9:39 remaining. East is going to have to punt to North. North trailing by 5. And I agree with Rich. Right now, East has not proven that they can stop North here whatsoever with that double wing. And the punt will end up out of bounds. They're going to walk it off probably around the 44 or 45-yard line will be my guess, where he parks up shop. And they're going to keep walking. And it's going to be right at the 47-yard line. North will take over with great field position, trailing by 5. And even if North would go down and score a touchdown here, there should be plenty of time on the clock for East to answer. So we will have a heck of a finish here on homecoming night at East Bakersfield High School.
And here's the double wing.
You got to stop it. Little pitch. Stumbles.
Turner, the ball carrier.
Picks up one. Turner
Taken down
kind
by
of stumbled
Ricardo
behind one of his offensive linemen. As we used to call it in the indoor soccer days, a sniper came out of that ground and grabbed your shoe coming out of the ground. So 2nd and 7. He does pick up 3, they say. I think it was 2. 2nd and 8, yeah.
Yeah, North has been most successful going to the right side, giving Romero the ball. He's the left wing back, so he comes to the right.
And there it is. And they'll hand it off again on the double hand. Oh, Turner had some space. That may, I know it's right over midfield. That may have saved 6. He had some room out there.
That was a heck of a good tackle out there because he had a lot of room.
The senior Turner had a ton of green space in front of him. Woo.
3rd and 4, which I'm sure this is 4 down territory. You still got a lot of time on the clock, but with this type of offense, if it's 3 yards or less, they're definitely going to go for it. So look for them to grind it.
And I think they have that big man back in, right? Is it Morales? They won't. They're going to hand it off, and then they're going to attack them behind the line of scrimmage for a loss. And that's going to be 4th and 6. I think that might change things. I think maybe you try and pin them back. Still 8 minutes remaining. Maybe you try and pin them, and your defense has been dominant here, for the most part, late in the second, most of the second half.
I agree with you. I don't know if Coach Brown is going to agree with you. But it's surprising that, Romero is your workhorse, but he hasn't touched the ball this series. And they haven't gone to the right yet.
So on the board it says 4th and 5, and that's probably what it is. You think they try to draw him off? Just saying.
Might not be a bad call.
They'll call a timeout. I think that's going to be a timeout by North. It didn't look like they were completely set. That was a good job, and you got to wonder if North is going to discuss it a little more. Now, if you know Norm as well, if it's you, which one are you going with? Are you punting? You going for it? What are you thinking here? 7.5. That's not an easy thing. Look,
Right.
you even paused there.
Right. Well, it's not easy. You're certainly right. But your defense has been playing well. You are running an offense that does grind clock down. 4th and 5, you got about a 50-50 chance, I think, of picking it up.
If it's me, because of how well your defense have played and that defensive line has really been tough here going in the fourth quarter, I feel like that offensive line is worn down. If you don't pick this up, they have the ball at midfield and a couple first downs. Even if they have to punt, now you got to go to length of the field.
Yeah, you're going to have to go 80.
Right? If you can get it down here, you get the ball back at midfield, you reset. I think I'd put it in the hands of my defense, but Norm's going to go for it. Riverboat run, right? Here we go. 4th and 5 for North in a huge spot with 7.5 remaining
East
in the
expecting pass, and they were right.
They are. They're going to throw it deep. They've got Johnson, and they're going to break it up on a great defensive play by the Blades. They had a man, and the Blades will get the ball right near midfield, right at the 48-yard line. What a defensive play by that D-back as Johnson had room to make the play.
Yeah, and a good call by East anticipating the pass, playing with 2 safeties over there. Now, that being said, the receiver had got behind him, but the quarterback just didn't quite have the arm to get it all the way to him.
And Ferguson did. He aired it out. You're exactly right. You got to wonder if Doughton doesn't get hurt, he's got the arm to do it. He looked like he could spin it enough to throw it that far and lead Johnson, that's for sure. So here we go. 1st and 10 for the Blades, and they can smell victory. If they can pick up a couple first downs, they'd run plenty of clock. They'll hand it off. They'll get it right up to around the 50, maybe on north side of the ball. You got to wonder if a flag comes there, don't you? You got to be smart. Number 6 right there, easily could have been called for a personal foul, yanking people off the pile there.
Yeah, play that whistle, let them get it set. And
so they are on the Stars side of the field. 2nd and 7 for East.
So now East High rushing up to the football here.
They're going to spread them out. 3 to the near side, 1 on the far side.
Gain of 3, second
And
and
they
7 for East High, but we do have penalties for
They
first
get him to
down.
jump. The hard count. It is. Offsides on North. So now it's 2nd and 2, and you can do all kinds of stuff. I know you want to run clock, Rich, but you got to wonder if play action pass may kind of sneak up and get North here if East would do it. I know you want to run the clock. Be interesting call. You don't think North would be expecting them to throw knowing they're up 5, wanting to run that clock.
Yeah, I would just wonder where your matchup is, where you think you can get them deep, though.
And they'll hand it off up the middle. Nice gain there.
Number 34, Brandon Austin.
Austin
Inside
up
the
to the 36-yard line, and it's going to be a first down with 6:19 remaining, and that clock is ticking quick on the north side, that's for sure. Man, every time Austin's touched the ball tonight just about, he has been dangerous.
Yeah. Again, good first down here for East, and see if they can continue to grind at them.
They'll hand it off once again.
Austin up the middle.
Cut inside, gain of 6.
Tackle made by
Yeah, the
51.
fastest way between 2 points is a straight line, and that's exactly where they're going at him, just right up the gut.
He's that little bowling ball back there, isn't he? Man, it's moving. Cutting.
North High puts substitution, puts another big body in there. I think trying to stop those inside runs, and they got too many on the field right now.
We have a
do.
penalty
Yeah, they
on the field.
put a big body on and didn't take a body off.
Substitution penalty. Too many men on the field for North High.
You can tell I have a football coach standing to my right. He's catching all those little things that you play-by-play guys can miss at times, and we're always involved with making sure we have names and other things. And Rich is right on top of it. He knows, he sees it right off the bat. He doesn't even need to count them. He just can see it.
Ball at the 26-yard line.
That's a nice thing to have.
Well, when the bodies are that big, it does make it a little easier.
That's right. They're going to get the call from the sideline. 5:28 remaining now. No play action there, and they will get him down. And that's a big sack
man.
and an extra penalty by James Johnson. You said it. Man, you can't do that, and that just hurts your team so bad. You get the big sack. It's going to be 2nd and 25, and now the personal foul.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct against.
It's just
Yeah, it just looked like he gave him a little bit of the people's elbow right there.
Penalty going to be 15 yards from the end of the play. Takes the ball to the 20-yard line.
It's just, you can't do that stuff to hurt. You've got him down. You can celebrate all you want. It's 2nd and 25. You got your team in a huge spot to possibly come back and win the game. And now instead of 2nd and 25, it's 2nd and 4, giving the forearm shot to the quarterback's head after he was already tackled.
Right. Yeah, what more do you need? You just made a big play.
So the officials talking with Norm Brown on the far side. I think that's Norm. You may know.
Yeah, that's Norm.
Now we have another penalty, another unsportsmanlike penalty against North High.
And now the coaches
And another East High first
got
down.
another unsportsmanlike, and the officials are even taking notes on this one. And now is he upset? If he's upset at the James Johnson call, if he sees it on the replay, he's going to know it was a penalty.
Right. And from his angle, he probably didn't see that. And again, from their perspective, they've been penalized for about 200 yards tonight, and East High has been penalized for maybe 30. But again, he said coming in, they have to play discipline, they have to watch their penalties, and they haven't done either of those things tonight.
Well, just hearing people talk around town and just kind of getting everybody's perspective on the game, if this result sticks, I'm not saying it's a huge shocker, but, I think with coming in, from what I heard, most people were thinking North probably wins this game.
Well, I do think North was favored. I mean, they're the bigger, probably stronger and faster team. So they didn't call the second foul. They were just the first one, so still 2nd down. 2nd
and 4. They'll throw it outside, and that's a drop. And not just the drop to make it 3rd and 4. It stops the clock with 5:06 remaining. And we'd said it before, with Doughton out, it's really eliminated that stretch in the field threat North gave you, and now they're grinding it out, right? And you're going to have to run the ball, so it really stops the clock. 5:06 remaining. 3rd and 4, huge spot here on the 20-yard line.
Well, I wonder if that field goal you were talking about earlier is going to come into play. North playing a cover 0.
They'll hand it off up the middle, and Austin will cut to the right, and he's going to be able to pick up the first down, and that'll move the sticks.
I think if he'd been able to keep his feet, he probably would have scored there. I'm not sure if he was tripped up or just slipped on that side, but first down's a big one, going to allow him to keep running clock, and North is going to have to start thinking about using timeouts here defensively.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you're Chad Greider, it's probably not the worst thing he got tripped up, right? 4:40, don't get me wrong, I know you want to go up 2 scores, but now you get to run at least a couple minutes more off this clock. They'll try to run it right, and Laura will be tackled behind the line. And it'll bring up 2nd and 13.
Well, I think East is leaving a lot of seconds on the clock. If I were them, I wouldn't snap the ball until the back judge starts moving his hand. That's the signal for 5 seconds left.
Okay.
You know, I think they snapped that one with about 12 or 13 seconds still.
I was curious on that. You know, is there any talk? Is it just too expensive to have that, you know, what is it in high school?
The 25-second
25 seconds here too? Yeah, I agree with you. Again, they snap it before the official does that. They'll run it up the middle. Martinez into a big pile. It's a big north wall. And that's going to be almost back to the original line of scrimmage, it looks like. He got a couple. It's probably going to be 3rd and 10. And I agree. I think that field goal may come into play here if they don't pick up this first down. Or do they try to pick it up? We are going to have one heck of a finish here if North can get the stop here on 3rd down.
So it's a 32-yard field goal right now as it stands with the ball on the 15. If you are going to set it up for your kicker, you probably want to try and run this to the left. Yeah, so it's in the middle of the field for him. I would think, you know, 32 yards is within his range.
We're going to have a timeout. You got to think North took the timeout. It isn't. It's East that takes the timeout. They want to make sure they have the right personnel and everybody's on the same page. It really is a huge play. 3rd and 10 with 3:10 remaining in the game. Interesting spot. Are they going to throw, or you think they're going to run and make North use the timeouts? I know you love when I put you in this position, but there's a reason why you're the best analyst in the business.
It looks – thank you. I think I'm the only one.
Hey, I didn't go there.
But it looked like by formation they were going to get in a set to just toss the ball to the left and, you know, pick up a yard or two if they can, but set it up for the field goal. That's what it looked like. But then again, they did take a timeout. So maybe they saw something and decided there's a better course of action.
So here comes the beef for North.
Yeah,
here comes the big boys for East.
Yeah, it looks like they've got a heavy set here. I think they're just going to move to the left, probably keep the ball in Laura's hands, and
get that kicker set up. Yeah. Try to hard count. Good move. Good idea there from East. They don't jump.
Oh, my.
Fumble. Who got it? It looks like East was able to fall on it, but there's all kinds of bodies. Does it really change 4 or 5 times under that pile, Rich?
It can, yeah. And you better teach your guys how to recover a fumble and not to give it to anybody ever. Now, it's funny. That's the first time we've seen Laura under center. You know, something that they don't do very much and something that they obviously need to practice a little bit more, because that could have been deadly if they'd lost that ball.
Absolutely. And here comes the kicker for East.
Setting up the ball at the 22 for a 32-yard field goal attempt.
And just as Rich said, 32 yards to make it an 8-score game.
Ramirez set to hold.
The snap's a good one. They place it down, and it is going to be no good as it's wide to the right.
No good.
2:15 remaining in the fourth. North trails by 5.
With the lead.
Now here's the question. Can they run that formation in 2 minutes and 15 seconds? What are we looking at? 85 yards.
Well, they got the ball will come out to the 20 because that's considered like a touchback too. So 80 yards. They're coming out in the spread. They still got some size matchups out here. East High not playing a safety on the bottom part here.
They're going to throw it to the outside, breaks one tackle, and that's James Johnson, and he really wants to make up for that personal foul he had on that quarterback sack that really changed this game midway through the fourth.
Yeah, and if I'm East, I'm doing something like the old basketball box and one, where I'm putting somebody man on him, and then everybody else is playing their same zone. So you're going to double or triple team him, because so far what we've seen with Shannon Ferguson playing quarterback is he's going to throw to Johnson almost every time.
2:07 clock stopped as Johnson got out of bounds. 1st and 10. Ferguson in the shotgun. He'll take a couple steps back. He'll throw it outside to Johnson. He's got some room on the outside. Stiff arms one, takes a hit on another, still doesn't go down. He'll talk a little bit, trying to get another personal foul, and didn't. But the clock continues to run.
Well, he got out of bounds there. So that'll stop the clock. It'll be second and about 3.
I thought. They're going to have to fix the clock. It kept running.
Yeah, did they call him in bounds? Because that's certainly not.
That clock is still running. 1:37 remaining.
Coach Brown needs to burn a timeout here because there's so much confusion.
They still need to get the big man Morales off. He's hustling to get off. They won't snap it till he does, and they do. And you're right, Rich. Timeout would have been a good spot there. He's going to throw it deep. Ferguson's got a man. And he's going to, he dropped it right at the 20. It hit him right in the hands. Cole Fields had a step and ended up being a perfect throw from Ferguson. Just couldn't come down with it. So it's now 3rd and 3.
Now, I know, Coach Brown's been frustrated with the penalty calls, but I think there's some legitimate frustration that was not called out of bounds, because he
never even went down.
He didn't go down. It wasn't like he was getting pushed backwards and then, his momentum had been stopped. He went out of bounds, and that cost him 25 seconds on the clock, and that's some pretty valuable time.
Absolutely. So 2 to the far side, 2 to the near side. They spread them out. In fact, 3 on the far side. So empty backfield. They'll throw outside. That's going to be complete. He's got his man.
Ferguson's pass is complete.
And Ferguson continues to move the chains for North here with 1:11. I'm telling you, that is going to be controversial. That if they don't score and they run out of time, it's going to be a controversial play in this game, because you're exactly right. It was minimum 20-25 seconds that ran off that clock.
And we have seen North High receivers are getting behind the safeties of East.
Ferguson receives the snap in the shotgun. He's going to look. He's going to fire it near side. Complete. And he will make the play. Nice catch from Fields there. He makes up for that one he dropped. They're trying to get Fields up. Is he okay? He's hurting a little bit. He's going to try and get back on. He's limping. I'm trying to see what he hurt. So it's going to be 2nd and 1. 1:03 remaining on the clock.
44-yard line on the east side of the field.
East is definitely overplaying Johnson down here.
Kind of have to.
Timeout on the field. Timeout East tie. 1:03 remaining in the game. That's their final timeout.
1:03 remaining. Timeout on the field. 21-16. And it's a perfect position for you to really take a chance here, Rich. Right, 2nd and 1. You know you can pick up a first down with the quick surge forward if you need to just pick that up.
Well, the other thing you do, if they're all selling out to the pass, if you run Romero or somebody tough inside, you're going to pick up the first down. That'll stop the clock. But you can also get a good chunk 15, 20-yard run out of this too. And I'm thinking that North has at least a couple for timeouts left. So anyway.
Well, this timeout brought to you by, I kind of want to read them all off. They're all so important. Obviously, the U.S. Army, they just continue just to be a huge part of the Kern High Network, along with the Kern Schools Federal Credit Union. And then Motor City GMC, I can't say it enough. Their SUVs are the best, and it's Motor City Buick GMC. And then don't leave us right at 000. Tony's Pizza Player of the Game coming up in a minute 3. In a barn burner we got here on homecoming night at East. Empty backfield, Ferguson in the shotgun. Johnson closest to us on the near side. The quick out is a first down, and he's out of bounds. It's not Fields. Justin Turner, once again, double duty third baseman for the Dodgers alongside, the wide receiver at North High. And if you haven't heard my bad humor before, get used to it. Basketball season's near, so is soccer. I'm here for all that. So 58 seconds remaining. And that, empty backfields work for them. Now they go with the one to the right of Ferguson. They'll step back. They'll look to fire. Wide open on the left side, complete. He's going to slip down. They're going to say he slipped out of bounds. They put the arms up to stop the clock.
Oh, wow.
You hear people in the crowd saying he didn't get out.
Well,
and they are going to say he's out of bounds. Does that even
maybe
out?
Karma. Maybe that's karma there, huh?
It's the first thing I thought. Does that even up what happened earlier in this drive? So 2nd and 7. Ferguson in the shotgun, this time with one to his left, one to his right. One goes in motion and steps up. The snap's a good one. He's going to fire across the middle,
pass
and
interference,
it's going to be it's going to be picked off, and that is going to be returned, and no flag on the play on obvious pass interference. He was hit way before the ball got there, and Coach Norm Brown is almost to midfield. Players asking as well, and I'm right along with Rich. How is that not pass interference? And we're going to have a flag on the player or
on Coach Brown, I think.
Either or. It doesn't matter. Whoever it is, it's going to be a 15-yard penalty. And North, the entire sideline of players and coaches are livid. And they have a good reason to be beyond upset.
Against North High.
So 21-16.
41 seconds remaining in the game.
East looks like they'll come out with this victory.
At the 32-yard line.
So I would suspect we will see victory formation for the Blades on homecoming night. They will defend their home turf.
Now, the last time they went under center, they fumbled it. So
that's true.
It ain't over till it's over.
That is a great call by you. Laura comes out, and they will line up in that victory formation, and that is a great call. Would you even think about just putting him in the shotgun to down it? But then that can go over your head.
Yeah, you can, but you can put another guy behind him. If the shotgun is what you're used to, and we haven't seen any bad snaps out of the shotgun all night tonight. So I would probably do that.
Something you don't see often, that's for sure. So Laura will get the snap, and they will run one, and they'll go straight down. Interesting call there. Timeout by North.
Now, North may have all 3 of their timeouts left, which would mean that they potentially could get the ball back again.
That's correct.
Unless East got a first down. So maybe that's why East is running there.
I swear they used one, but I might be wrong. I thought they did. Maybe they did give them the timeout back, because remember we were talking about the one and so
was that in the first half, though?
Was it? It's been a long game.
Yeah.
It's been a long night here. So it's just we need to start thinking about that player of the game. There's all kinds. We'll go to a break, talk about it, but there's a few. That's for sure. I think I got a front runner. That's for sure. So are you shocked at the no call?
Yes.
That was pretty bad.
I think it was a pretty, and I don't think North has an argument on many of the other penalties, but I certainly think they have an argument on that one.
So there's the victory formation for Laura. And the boys are starting to give handshakes on the line. So Will they have to punt it away, or will they send somebody to run around for 9? I mean, it's going to be interesting here.
Well, so it'll be snap to kneel to when the official marks it again.
Okay.
And you'll watch some officials will wait until that thing gets to 24 seconds, and then they'll blow it in.
Okay.
I always like them to just, hey, however you marked it all game long, you need to keep marking it at this part of the game too.
Right. Consistency.
Yeah.
This will be.
So if North has one more first down or timeout, but I don't know if they do.
Well, East again in the victory formation. Coach Brown's on the field and he's stomping the sidelines. The snap and the kneel down, and the clock will run. They haven't marked it yet, and that will be the game. And it's going to be a 21-16 victory for East over North. East will prove to 4-4. North falls to 4-4. Let's go to a quick break. You are watching the Kern High Network.
Schools Federal Credit Union is here to be your lifelong financial partner. So while your financial life may start out with a Rocky Raccoon account, as you grow, we'll be with you every step of the way. From your first car and everyone thereafter, to investing in your family's future, to buying that special house you'll call home, Kern Schools is here to help. And if you live in Kern County, then you can bank with us. See, we're local just like you, so what we accomplish together benefits our entire community. Kern Schools, together we have something special.
Ready. Welcome back to East Bakersfield High School. And East hold serve. They win on their home turf on homecoming night. It's always a nice win, Rich, when you win on homecoming night, and that just gives you that extra momentum the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's when you're going to have your biggest crowd, you got alumni back in there, supporting the team, and you pull out a win against a really good opponent. So hats off to the East High Blades and Chad Greider for a great victory.
Well, let's get our votes here for player of the game, Kevin Willie, who is doing the great work behind the camera. What do you think, bud?
Well, I liked Austin this second half. He really jumped in with the offense. North High's offense, or rather the defense, I think they did a great job of early on in the game of stopping that offense. Those big guys on the line. They put in a lot of work, and I think, like you said, I think the last quarter here they got a little tired, but I think Laura is a good choice for tonight. I think you can almost give it to 3 or 4 people on East High's team, but him being in control, I think that's where I would go.
Rich?
Yeah, and I think Richard Laura also, because he's the clear leader on that team. I don't remember him having a turnover tonight. He had a nice touchdown run. He threw the ball real well, distributed it, ran the option great. So Richard Laura, I think, deserves that Tony's Pizza Player of the Game.
Well, Kevin, if I knew how to run a camera, this is the first time coming on the air tonight, I wouldn't have a job next week, because that was well summed up, let me tell you, bud. I agree with you. It was a team effort, first of all. You said that great. It really was. Defensive side of the ball. We could give it to the guy that had the pick 6. That really turned the game around. The pick at the end was huge. Huge defense. Brandon Austin, I 100% agree. He really came forth in the second half when they wanted to run the ball, wanted to run the time off the clock. Beltran, great with the hands. Great receiver for East. But I agree with you guys. I think it's got to be that quarterback. He didn't turn the ball over, as you said, Rich. That's a big thing at the quarterback, right? You don't turn that ball over. What's your percentage of winning when you don't have turnovers? Are you kidding me? Goes through the roof. So right there, and look, that ended up being the difference, right? East got a couple turnovers, including the pick 6, and they go on to victory 21-16. So the Tony's Pizza player of the game is Richard Laura, the senior quarterback, who, look, don't forget he's thrown for now. He coming in the game threw over 600 yards. He missed 2 games during the year, but you can see it coming along with East. And they were undermanned, right? They're probably 2 short bodies if you're going by weight, and they still figure out a way to get the win.
Yeah, great game plan by Chad Greider, well executed by his team and his assistant coaches, and pulled out a big win for him.
Absolutely. So for Mr. Bentley over there running the board and Kevin on the camera, Rich, it's been a blast. This has been a great first time, I'm sure my last if Stan's listening in, but I appreciate everyone, and I always throw Vance Palm in there. He's the one that ended up getting me over here. I did a little college basketball with him.